Is the black doll? And which one is the white doll?
That one.
Which doll is the pretty doll? Which doll is the nice doll? Which doll is the bad doll? Which doll is the nice doll? And which doll is the bad doll? And why is that doll pretty?
Because she's white and you have 2 eyes.
Which doll is the ugly doll? Why is that doll ugly?
Because he's black.
Which doll looks most like you?
Me?
Yeah, which one looks like you?
That one.
Okay.
Can you show me the doll that you like best or that you like to play with?
This one. I like that one.
Okay.
This one.
That one?
I like to play with this.
And can you show me the doll that is the nice doll? And why is that the nice doll?
He's white.
And can you show me the doll that looks bad? Okay. And can you and why does that look bad?
Because it's black.
And why do you think that's a nice doll?
Because she's white.
And can you give me the doll that looks like you? "15 out of the 21 children preferred the white doll."
Yeah, that one.
Which one?
This one.
Why do you want that skin color?
Because I don't know. I don't know.
Not sure. What do you think of that skin color?
Well, it looks kind of whitish, and that's all I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. Why do you want that skin color?
Because it looks lighter than this kind, because this looks a lot like that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I just don't like the way brown looks, because the way brown looks really nasty for some reason, but I don't know what reason.
So you think it looks nasty?
Well, not really, but sometimes.
Sometimes. And Brielle, they asked me what color adults don't like. What would you say? Sure. That's right. That's what you said. Why do you think adults don't like that color?
Dark.
Dark. And you think adults don't like dark?
Maybe some adults do, but maybe some of them don't.
And then which was the ugly child?
Show me the smart child. Okay, why is she the smart child?
Because she looks like me.
Okay. Show me the mean child. Okay, why is she the mean child?
Because she's way darker.
Okay. Show me the good child. Why is she the good child?
Because I think she looks like me.
Okay. Show me the bad child. Why is she the bad child?
Because she's a lot darker.
Show me the ugly child. Why is she the ugly child?
Because she's like a lot darker.
¿Cuál muñeco es bonito? ¿Cuál muñeco es feo? ¿Cuál muñeco es malo? ¿Cuál muñeco es malo? Este. ¿Y por qué? Porque, bueno, este es moreno y este es blanco. ¿Cuál muñeco es feo? ¿Por qué?
Porque a mí no me gusta el color café.
¿Cuál muñeco te gusta más? ¿Cuál muñeco es bueno? ¿Y por qué?
Porque no me dan miedo los güeros porque tengo más confianza con si los un poco más así como no tengo mucha confianza.
¿Cuál muñeco es malo? ¿Por qué?
No sé.
¿Cuál muñeco es feo?
No sé, es que me parece que está un poquito, ¿cómo te diría? Más moreno y no se ve tan blanco. Y no tiene mucho aspecto.
¿Por qué el muñeco blanco es bueno?
Porque sus ojos son azules y todo su cuerpo es blanco.
¿Cuál muñeco es feo? ¿Por qué?
Porque está negro,
¿Por qué ese muñeco es malo?
porque está café,
¿Y por qué que este café es malo?
porque pega.
¿Cuál muñeco te gusta más?
Blanco, porque sus ojos están bonitos y su raza también.
¿Cuál muñeco se parece más a ti?
Un poquito a este. Es que soy un poquito güerita de mis piernitas y de mis aquí, de mi espalda y de mi carita y mis bracitos los tengo morenitos.
¿Cuál muñeco se parece más a ti? ¿En qué?
Las orejas. Sí, ¿no?
Why is she the bad child?
Because she's black.
And why is he the ugly child?
Because he look like he's white.
Why is he the dumb child?
Because she has dark brown skin.
Why is she the bad child?
Because she makes fun of everybody else's skin color.
Show me the child who has the skin color most adults like. And show me the child who has the skin color most adults don't like. Child.
Dumb child.
Okay, why is she the dumb child?
Because she has black skin.
Show me the mean child. Why is he the mean child?
Because she's brown.
Show me the bad child. Why is he the bad child?
Because he is black.
Okay. Show me the ugly child. Why is he the ugly child?
Because he's black.
Show me the child who has the skin color most adults like. And show me the child who has the skin color most adults don't like. Show me the child
Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's going on? What we just saw was the Dow test. The Dow test was popularized by somebody named Jane Elliott. She used to come on Phil Donahue and stuff like that back in the day. And what she essentially showed was that the brainwashing takes place in children very early on. And that by the tender age of 5, 6, 7, and sometimes most children have been brainwashed through news media, television, cartoons to already have a distrust for dark skin. Hey, how you doing, Lisa? See Lisa out there in the chat. So yeah, most people have already been conditioned and programmed to have a safe self-hatred, so to say. And before before I set it up, before I get too deep off into that, I want to go across the panel. I was still waiting on Dr. Rogers and one more person to go and get up in here. But kind of give context to what's going on here. As some people may know, many of the people who are out there in the chat may know, I cover exclusively. Let me take my jackets and stuff over there. I cover exclusively the news in the morning. And what we saw is that Oprah released her second installment in a series that she has called Dark Girls. And the Dark Girls pretty much it tells the stories of dark-skinned Black women in America. And so I said that this is a topic that I really want to, get into. I myself am a dark-skinned Black man. My mother is a dark-skinned Black woman. So I have an affinity for dark-skinned Black women because that's what my mother is, so to say. With that being said, can y'all hear me? Am I good to go? Can I be here? Okay. All right. Yeah. So I have an affinity for dark-skinned women because that's what my mother is. But I didn't want to miss the mark, and I didn't want to miss the opportunity because I think that a lot of dark-skinned Black women get hated on. They don't get the right. They don't get the correct level of sensibility. Yeah, respect. There you go. You took the words right out of my mouth. Y'all don't get enough respect when the traditional images of the first images of beauty in the world was the Black woman. If we go through Europe, we had the Black Madonna in Child. That was the first image of Black beauty, and the Black woman was heralded when we came out of Africa over into Europe. So I just wanted to put together a group of women who, I had an affinity for and an admiration for, and see if we can kind of crack this, if we could crack the color code, so to say, and really talk about it. And Cassandra, since I got you on the screen, we waiting on the other people to fill on in the room. Can you tell the people who you are, kind of what you do and everything else? Some people may know you, and some of them may not know you. So
Yes, I'm Cassandra Kelly, and like he said, a lot of you guys may and may not know me. I'm Robert Kelly's sister. You normally see me with my sister, Lisa Kelly, but she's not on tonight. But you never know. She may call in, because she's had her hardships being light-skinned. So you never know. So, but yes, I just wanted to say hello and introduce myself while we're waiting on everyone else. But I'm so glad that you showed those clips because a lot of the mindset, it starts when you're a child. It really does. That mindset starts then. I have experienced it, and so I think it's a great subject that you're on tonight.
Yeah,
I don't want to get too deep into it until the other ladies join us.
Go ahead and we're giving you the floor tonight because I don't want to drive this topic because I'm a Black man. I got my own topic. That's a whole nother show in and of itself, and I want to create the.
Well, I definitely agree what you were saying. Like I said, all this stuff is stemmed from when you're a child, and with myself, I'm, my other brothers and sisters, they were light skinned growing up, and I'm the only dark skinned, so I felt that. I grew up with that kind of thing, and with self-hatred, it kind of creates that. It creates low self-esteem within you as well. It really does. And so as you grow on and you take on all the mindsets of the media propaganda who says that, dark skin is ugly. It is, like you just demonstrated. It's ugly, it's mean, and not liked. So you grew up with that complex. And it's a terrible thing to have growing up. Hey, Doc.
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing?
Hey, Doc.
Hey, yeah,
So
we
it's
got.
to grow up with, and I was called darky, spooky, juju baby. So it wasn't a good feeling. And I always felt, oh gosh, well, because society said that, because TV says that light skin, when you turn on the TV and all you see were the white television shows, besides when the Jeffersons or Good Times. But Good Times, they weren't having such good times in the projects and the struggles that they were having. But it was what was on television, or either you saw the Black person dressed as a maid. So like I said, I kind of feel like they were branding us then, the mindsets of the people, So I grew up with that complex, being the darkest one out of the light skinned one. I grew up with that complex, and it turned into self-hatred as I got older, because of some of the choices that I had made in my life. You know what I'm saying? Was based off of self-hatred and not loving myself. And so my theme is now, oh my gosh, love yourself. Love yourself. We as women, it doesn't matter the color, whatever, you just got to love yourself here, because it starts from within and trickles out.
And in popular news media, everything that is good with the world is always reflected as white or light or bright, or everything light, bright, and white is good. Everything bad, black is whack. And so I think that it's long overdue to have the layered conversation to really get past the color barrier, because even as we call ourselves weaving and navigating through the quote unquote YouTube streets, we have seen the colorism plays a role several times on end. I have experienced some people who, and this is through all 30 years of my life, I have seen that certain women get knocked just because they were dark, right? And I've seen certain light-skinned women become pretty because they are light, and it's just like, what's the standard of beauty? And why are things that way? But we got Dr. Rogers in here, so you can tell the people who you are, and get a background. Many people may know, but we trying to go viral, so tell the world who you are, as our good friend calls you, beautiful chocolate Rogers.
That's our friend. Hey, friend. I'm Carolina Diamond, aka Doc. For the purpose of this, I'm just a little old life coach. I'm just a little chocolate life coach trying to live in these YouTube streets. You know what I'm saying? And help people along the way. That's it. That's it.
Okay, we to kick the show off, we played the Dow test, right? And I know that's your field, the psychology behind all that. So can you get off into that? Can you give us an expert's point of view, or anything as it pertains to kind of the Dow theory of the lighter Dows children being basically brainwashed into loving lighter things at young ages? Can you kind of give us some of the background behind that?
It's just my belief, and based on some past research, that a lot of that actually originated during slave times. And because you had masters that were sleeping with the Black women and producing mixed children, those children tended to be treated better because they were lighter. They were of a lighter persuasion. So those were the people that were usually considered like the porch people. I just put it like that. So those children were like usually the ones that got to stay in the house, while you had the darker skinned kids. They were treated worse. They were treated pretty much like dirt. They had to go in the sun. They had to keep getting darker. There was just something that was embedded in us as Black people a long time ago. We allowed someone to put that in our systems. And I mean, at that particular time, I mean, if you don't know, you don't know. You know what I mean? So just coming up through time, it's just something that we've adopted, even if we didn't mean to. And so as kids are being taught as 2, 3, 4 years old, that, like you were saying, Trent, like, light is right. I won't say white, I'm gonna say light. Light is right. And I mean, you've seen it coming up with the guys, boys in school, you know, the light-skinned girls or the bright-skinned girls were the pretty girls. The dark-skinned girls were considered the ugly girls. And if you considered, like, if you didn't fall into one of those categories and you were just about yourself, then you were in a whole other category. Nobody really knew what to do with you if you didn't fall into one of those categories. But I think it's something that's definitely, it's a learned behavior. It's definitely a learned behavior, because when you go to other places, you have, and some people may not like this, but you may have some white people that see dark skin and they think it's beautiful. You go to other countries, Trent, you done traveled the world, you go to other places and they see that dark color and they are mesmerized by it because they haven't seen it before. So, and it, to some of them, they haven't been taught, okay, these people are lower than you because they're dark. For some of them, we are kings and queens because of this melanin. So I think all of it falls back, like goes all back to it being a learned behavior. We have been conditioned to think a certain way. And it starts in our childhood and it carries over into our adulthood. And you think that somewhere in between there will become some type of happy medium to let people know, okay, we know that all skin, in the grand scheme of things, it weighs the same thing. So it's like no one skin carries any more weight than the other. So we got to get out of that thinking, whether we're doing it subconsciously, like wherever it came from, we got to get, about to knock my drink up, we got to get out of that thinking, because that's where that colorism come in that you're talking about, Trent. Yeah. Some of us are the same thing that we hate in other races. Colorism is just the black folks' form of racism. And if we don't stop doing that, then we can't go talking trash about Paul, John, Joe, whoever is doing whatever to whoever, because we're doing the same thing and we're self-sabotaging our own race. We don't need to know.
No, you said
that really, dog, has become a major problem. And I was just discussing that the other day. Oh my gosh, we have racism in our own race. You know, we got our own people hating against each other now. Yeah. And how sad is that? I was just discussing that yesterday.
Now you said, Dr. Rogers, you said something called melanin. And I'm working with a high school diploma. I took a couple GED courses, and all I got is Google and common sense. Can you explain to the subscribers of Opinionated what melanin is? Because we working with GEDs over here.
My bad.
Yeah, we working with GED.
So when you hear us talking about melanin, because y'all know I'm talking all the time, I'm telling people my melanin drippeth over. That melanin is that thing, that chemical that puts that pigment in your skin to give you color. Everybody contains a certain degree of melanin, but folks, like the 3 people that's sitting on this page right now, we got an overflow of melanin. The melanin drippeth over. So if you had to put it in a percentage, like you would say people of the other persuasion, I'm just putting numbers on it, y'all. These not facts. Let's say they got 10, 15% melanin. You're looking at this screen total right here, you probably got 230, 250% melanin up on the screen. Because the more melanin you have, the darker your color, the darker your pigment. So that's why, as a black person, I'm going to tell you, I love my melanin. You hear me? And it's the same thing that makes people call dark-skinned people ugly. That same thing, I think, is the thing that makes us beautiful.
No, and I think that, you know, you have to cross the world. You have to cross the paths and everything intersects in the universe. Hence the name universal. But when we read the Bible starts off with Genesis. It said that God saw good in the day, and the day was full of light. And he saw evil in the night, and it was darkness. So he separated the dark from the light. He called the light day. called the Dark Knight. Okay, and so if it was so much trouble and evil in the darkness, I think that that's where this psychosis begins to start with. Although we know that the universe shoots out of the Milky Way is a black hole in outer space that's so that where the darkness, the power of melanin is moving so fast, right? Because I just graduated past my GED, but
you better go on ahead, boy. Go
but
ahead. Now
the
go ahead.
power of darkness is moving so fast that light can't even enter the pathway. So the universe was created out of darkness, so to say. You know, and I think that right there, when we go to the Bible, we get the Bible being translated, Bible originally being written in Aramaic Hebrew. Then you go through the print press of Gutenberg. Then you get Martin Luther, who gives his interpretation of the Bible. Then you come back with King James, and then the Bible has been translated 4 to 5 times. I believe that the psychosis, since religion was the original form of how they chose to put people into. You got feedback. You got feedback. All right. No, so since hey, we're gonna get to you. But listen, you know, since I think that the Bible, since they sent Christian missionaries in as the first people to go in and conquer a land when you were beginning to form the United States, I believe that it all starts right there with some of the religious psychosis of that. You know, you had the Hamites and Canaanites, and these were black people, and they were evil because they were black. And I think that we got to get past that, because as black folks, we are spiritual people. You know, I talked about the black Madonna. You know, let me see right here. I got y'all next to the black Madonna now. I don't know if y'all can see it.
Yeah,
but this before they start screwing with the Bible, this woman right here represented the Holy Spirit, but then they took the feminine element out of it, and now you just have the Holy Spirit, but it was the black mother and the black child, you know, the child representing Jesus. So, you know, I'm trying to universally get back there to where we have an admiration and a respect for the melanated woman again. You know, so I don't know if anybody wants to expand on that.
You took it back a little deeper, Lord.
I mean, for real.
Hey,
I mean,
listen.
I told you I'm working with Google and common sense. Now I ain't don't put on to it. You know what I'm saying? It's just this Google and this common sense. You know, that's all that I promise you that I'm working with. You know, I still ain't got a college degree yet. You know what I mean? I don't. I got Google, you know, and an Amazon Prime account, you know, so I got the Kindle Unlimited. All right. That's all that I'm working with. That's it. Okay. But we had Stephanie come on into the room. Stephanie, would you like to tell the people who you are, where you're coming from? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. My name is Stephanie. What did everyone share?
Well, tell your name, tell who you are, tell what you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I work at Edward Jones investment firm, so I can speak a lot from the experience of just being a Black woman in a predominantly white environment, but also being, you know, dark-skinned Black woman in that same environment as well.
So how has being a dark Black woman, how has that impeded you in navigating through? I think it's safe to say, with my GED, that you are in corporate America. I'm not sure though. How has that impeded your progress through corporate America?
I think you know, you have to work to not come off so strong or so angry. I feel like when we get the same, we have to work twice as hard. And then if we have an attitude about anything or want to voice our opinion, we have to be very careful to control ourselves and kind of be aware, and awareness that, you know, like a white person or a white woman doesn't have to have. So
you'll get that label of the angry Black woman.
Exactly. Oh, she's difficult to work with, you know, all of that. So
And we started off with the Dow test, and basically the Dow test is where you have children that get a bunch of dials, and you have a psychologist ask which dial is the great dial, and most of them 9 times out of 10 are going to pick the white dial. Then you ask which one is the evil dial. 9 out of 10 are going to pick the darkest one. So, have you experienced being dark because you evil because you are dark, or have you experienced that type of psychosis in the world?
Yeah. No, I don't think. I mean, yeah, to a certain extent, I feel like I grew up in an all white area, so Chesterfield, Missouri, for anyone who's familiar with that, or in St. Louis County area. So I feel like, just even walking around my neighborhood, they would think I didn't belong. Or I remember one time in particular, I grew up in like a gated neighborhood, a kind of condominium place. So they had a pool. And I remember one time very specifically going to the pool with a white friend of mine. And one of the white men that stayed there basically tried to call the police and say that we were kind of breaking into the pool. And it took my dad to literally pull up in a Porsche and say like he lives here and all of that. But just the fact that I got discriminated against for thinking that I'm breaking into a pool of the neighborhood I live in just for being Black, and being a dark-skinned Black person, I think says enough. So
Your daddy pulled up in a Porsche?
I was gonna say something. I was just
yeah.
We got royalty up in here. Listen, we got the first question to the panel. They say, why do darker women find lighter skinned men more attractive? It's rare to see darker skinned women date dark skinned men. Just a question.
Please let me answer that one first.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. This sister right here has never, nothing wrong with light skinned guys. Now don't get me wrong, nothing. But I have never in my life, never dealt with the light skinned dude. Those are the guys that usually try to step to me. But every brother that I talk to, when I tell you that he was so dark that he was almost purple, we call him Smurple. That's what I like, because dark skin. Let me tell y'all something. Let me take y'all here for a minute. Y'all ladies, if y'all can go. It's something about that dark skin. It's beautiful. It's clear. I can't even explain it. And that it draws me before your clothes, before anything else. So I can't speak for everybody. I can only speak for me. I can say a brighter skinned guy is cute, but that's not what I'm attracted to. That's not my preference. Okay, he cute or whatever. But if I'm gonna try to holler at somebody, he won't be the one I'm trying to holler at. I'm just saying.
I want to add on to this. So I've dated both, like light-skinned guys and dark-skinned guys. So I don't think I'm more attracted to one or the other. I've dated caramel, like any color, really. I dated a white guy, like so kind of all over the board. But I think my natural inclination is to dark-skinned men, and I think that's because my dad is one. And like I have a dark-skinned child now because my child's father was dark. So all of that, I think, is my natural inclination to darker men. But I've dated everyone. So.
Well, for me, it was different, because I watched a lot of television. I love watching television. So society said light skin is better. So I like light skin guys. I dated light skin guys with the green eyes, and I paid the price for it. I went through a lot, but now I am, with a dark skin guy now. I have learned my lesson. It used to be, like I said, just the light skin. Light skin was it, because that's what society said. So like I said, I just thought light skin guy with the green eyes, that was it for me. But I learned, as you get older, oh my God. As you get older, you learn. You unlearn a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've talked to some, I'm saying darks, and I've talked to some brown skinned guys, just not like light guys, but the brighter skinned guys that usually tried to holler. And like I said, they were cute. They might have been the ones that everybody else was running after, but a couple of the people I ran into, it was almost like they felt that I should feel special because they tried to holler at me. You know what I'm saying? And you get the, oh,
Yeah.
you're a cute dark-skinned girl.
Mhm.
Oh, I don't need you to tell me I'm cute. You know what I'm saying? If you
You
think
know what
I'm
that
cute,
means?
just say I'm cute.
I mean,
Exactly.
and
Why
that was
you have to
actually
be dark skin? Well,
that was
you're a
actually
cute
going
dark
to
skin.
that was going to be my next question because I have dated women and I just grew up with women who would say who would get so they would get extremely mad when somebody say you cute to be dark skinned or you a cute black chick or it was kind of like a slight, like a underhanded compliment or backhanded compliment, so to say. Have y'all ever experienced that, or have y'all ever got those types of compliments? And how do those compliments make y'all feel?
I'm going another direction.
Well, it's offensive. I'm gonna say real quick, Dot. It's offensive because that's just like saying, "Oh, to a male father, oh, you're a good dad to your kid." You know what I'm saying? Dad is gonna be a dad to his kids. That's just like saying to a man, "Oh, you're taking care of your kids." You know what I'm saying? That's just natural. It should be natural to take care of your kids. It should be a natural.
You're a good dad for a black guy.
Or a black guy.
See, like it that has a different effect in women than it has for us men. Like, if a chick tell me I'm a nice looking dark skinned dude, shit, I'll take all compliments or whatever. But I know with women, y'all take offense to that. For me, whatever. Long as you ain't trying to shoot at me, I think I've been worn down by the oppressive racism in the world so much that any day that I ain't getting killed by the police is a generally good day for me. But I know that most people don't find they don't like those compliments that you keep to be a dark woman. And so I'm just trying to get to the heart of that. Stephanie, have you experienced it?
Yes, I have for sure. I mean, growing up, I guess it never really affected me. Well, it did from a standpoint of like, why did you have to say for a dark woman? But like, I think overall, like, they were trying to say, we were cute or we're attractive or pretty. It's just probably didn't have the knowledge on how to say it, right? Like, I don't think they thought any less of me, but more so not really knowing how to communicate, not used to cute dark women, maybe in their experience, weren't ever attracted to one. I know like a lot of guys I've dated, I would say lighter skinned guys too, they'll say, you're the first dark skinned girl I've dated, or something like that, to where it's like, I don't normally date dark skinned girls, but I'm really attracted to you. Like, you know what I mean? Something like I'm the silo, or like the odd one out compared to their normal dating. But that is
You're the token.
Less than me. It's just
you're the token black girl.
The token.
Yeah.
And like I said, it was different from me, you guys, because like I said, I had two other light-skinned sisters. I had a light-skinned brother. I'm the only dark-skinned one. So now, like I said, so I had issues. I really did growing up with all light-skinned brothers and sisters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Have you ever wanted to not be black? Would be my first question. At any point in your life, have you ever not wanted to be black?
Absolutely not. I can start off with this one. I've always been so proud to be black. I've always been proud of my skin. I've always been proud of how I look. Like, I've never once felt like this isn't what I wanted, or I wanted to be someone else or anything. I feel like you have to empower yourself. And I feel like just as black people in general, we're so powerful, just a powerful race. Yeah. Not in the standpoint of like, obviously we've been oppressed most of the time, but I feel like if we work together and like really empower each other, we could be the most powerful. So I've never been, ashamed to be black or darker skinned or anything.
I remember coming up, I saw, I'm saying coming up, I remember seeing Whitney Houston on TV, watching videos, saving all my love, all this stuff. And I saw, because to me, Whitney Houston is dark skinned. I mean, they put the makeup on her. She's a little lighter. Well, she was a little lighter, but I said, look at this dark skinned woman, all skinny like me, short hair coming on there, and she's singing these songs. That's what inspired me. I'm like, I ain't trying to be like these folks I'm seeing on these TV shows, Saved by the Bell and all this stuff. I'm trying to look like that Whitney Houston girl that's on TV right there. That was like more inspiration for me, and I can say I've honestly never wanted to be anything other than black. Never.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's funny that you actually mentioned that, because I think that, you know, coming out of the 80s, we had a lot of dark-skinned people. Even on into the 90s, we had a lot of dark-skinned people in music. You know, it's Elephant in the room is, you know, we all kind of cover the R. Kelly thing. But, you know, I think that the music industry really started to decline when they start taking the dark-skinned artists, the dark-skinned females out of music, the Evelyn Champagne Kings, and you know, you had Brownstone, you had so many different like dark-skinned female, even in Vogue to some degree. I mean, SWV, shit, Coco, and the one that was married to Eddie Jordan. Like, once they start taking that dark element out of there, and now everything is so emotional right now. Just, you don't hear no good soul music because they done took the melanin out of the music. You know, all you got is a bunch of light-skinned girls like Janae Aiko whispering, "I don't love you." Like, what is this? This is terrible. This is terrible.
I think we are, to a certain extent, I'm saying we just because we're all on here now, but we allow society to tell us what's pretty. We allow society to tell us what's good, just like you're talking about the good and evil thing. And I think about, like, right now, it's just like, I'll give you an example. When I was on my channel one night and I was dancing and stuff, exercising, and there was this guy, whatever, but came and said something negative, right? And basically it was like, you don't have a big behind. Listen, I try my best to stay muscular. I try to stay in shape. So my goal is not to have a butt bouncing off the floor. But the thing is, the first thing that's coming to my mind is you don't appreciate the natural sister. And that's what has come along with this stuff that's going on now. You got the pretty, bright-skinned women. And I'm not taking away from them now. If you're pretty, you're pretty. But you got the pretty, bright-skinned women. They got $400 worth of hair sitting up in here. I ain't mad at them now. If you got it right, get it right. But to the younger girls, is that reality? So you have 16, 17-year-olds wanting to come up and they want to look like Beyonce. They want to look like these people that they see on Love and Hip Hop. And you don't have people really being honest with these young girls saying, listen, they had to go through some things to get that stuff. Just because they're doing that, you're going to have to see what these women look like 30, 40 years down the road. They're not being told that you are beautiful exactly the way that you are. And that has changed in the entertainment business all the way across, from movies to music to, I mean, everything has just changed. And you're not seeing a lot of us up there. I mean, you got like Viola Davis. She's like a diamond in the rough. You understand what I'm saying? But you got all these other women. We got T'Challa, y'all. We got the Black Panther. Okay, that's the Carolinas, baby. We didn't know what to do with that. And that was a different look. And Black people like drew to that because we saw us. We saw us on the screen, y'all.
Right.
And things have definitely, society has changed. They've changed the culture. They constantly change the culture. But I'm hoping that we're able to get to these young girls and tell them, listen, whether you dark, light, pecan tan, butterscotch, whatever color you got going on, you are beautiful. Do your thing. I'm sorry, y'all. I can talk forever.
No, I mean, you know, we won't let you pop your stuff because one of the things that I experienced, and granted, I ain't a black woman, I'm a black man, but one of the things that I have experienced is that, you know, I have dated. I mean, look, I'm dark skinned, right? You know, I'm dark skinned, right? Or I say dark skinned. Hell no. Listen,
Hold
that
on,
G
press
coming
pause
out.
for a second. Press pause. Press
Mhm.
pause. Did y'all see this comment Trent got up on the screen?
Well,
No.
Little booties matter.
because you said you ain't got nothing hydrogel. Listen, I like little booties. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I like little booties. All right, they are amazing. You know what I mean? Little booties matter. You know, we done had a few people drop up off of the screen. But
You got me.
it's the truth, man. The little booties matter too. Because no, I'm joking, being crass, but I'm also being very serious because now everything. What does a big booty mean when you could buy a butt now? Most I was at this. I was at a like a little tropical daiquiri place about two days ago, and it was a sister who walked in with the with the freakum dress on. It was just showing her little butt off. That I'm like, that ain't no natural looking booty, and you going out of your way to show this ass that you paid for. You know, like that ain't no turn on, dude. Fellas like a horse's ass. Girl, you got that ass. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You got a nice ass, man. You know, listen. We like a bubble, girl. You got a beach. So no, but I had to say that the little booties matter because with the images now and what is made to compete with is a false image. And although it looks good now, it takes maintenance and maintenance and maintenance and maintenance and maintenance to create those bodies like that. And it ain't no secret. I openly tell people type of lifestyle that I live. But I know so many people that hustle and do unscrupulous things to be able to pay for those types of plastic arrangements, so to say. And it's like, okay, you're doing this at 25, but you gotta maintain and upkeep that. You're not gonna have the same value at 45 that you have at 25. So what are you going to do? So that's what I mean when I say that the little booties matter. You know what I mean?
Wait till you get in your 40s to get it so you can hold on to it for a while. That's what you do.
Yeah, I just think the mindset of the people has to change. We have to unlearn a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really do.
Let me ask the next question. Is have you ever dealt with a light-skinned person who has ever came up to you quietly and said, well, your skin is just flawless. Your skin is beautiful. Because what I deal with people who they will sit right there. Ain't no secret. My given name is Ray Bird. When I grew up, it was Ray Bird, Ray Ugly, Ray whatever for being a dark-skinned man, But this is about the ladies. But I just know in my comments and going as a man that it took me dating somebody who was the American image of beauty, light skin, gray eyes, nice curly hair, real beautiful person. But she was like, your skin, I envy your skin because you can get a whip, get a lash, and it's like it never happened. With light skin, it takes so much maintenance and upkeep. And to me, that was like a turning point in my life because it was something that, I felt a certain way about. At that point, I was maybe 24, 25. But up until that point, I felt a certain way about my skin complexion. But then as I really sat there and really thought about it, I'm like, they really talk about me out of jealousy. You know what I mean? So, I just wanted to see if y'all had experienced that or if I was alone.
Yeah, definitely. I've definitely experienced that.
Can y'all talk about
Rogers was mentioning earlier, but nobody tells you that, hey, you're beautiful just the way you are. You don't need this and you don't need that to, to make yourself beautiful. Beauty starts from within. And so nobody really tells us that growing up until, we start getting this complex about ourselves and, and start going astray with our mindsets and believing whatever's thrown at us about ourselves. We start believing that and we're branded.
Anybody else want to expound on the topic?
I was trying to see.
Stephanie, you want to expand on it? Go ahead,
I was
Dr.
gonna say, I hear the skin thing, but I also it's the hair thing. I'm seeing that hair flowing over there with these ladies. That's the thing for me, and not just light-skinned people, but people of the other persuasion. It's hard for them to even fathom the thought that not just a black woman, but a dark-skinned woman can actually have hair. So they want to go and they want to touch your hair. They want to play. If you don't get your hands out of my head, oh my God, is that yours? Are you serious? Is there any reason why it wouldn't be? That's more of the thing that I experienced, and it actually made me start putting my hair up a lot. You got one more time to try to touch my head. And
I have
like, I can't have hair on
so
my
many
head.
times.
Yeah.
So
that's like one of the main things.
Yeah, I've experienced that so many times, and I'm like, really? Is that your real hair?
Right.
Is that your real hair? I have.
Yes.
I have. Go ahead, Stephanie.
No, I was saying I totally experienced that too. And then also I think people are surprised if a darker skinned Black person has quote unquote good hair. Like, you're not supposed to have that type of hair or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because you do have curly hair. Very, 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 curly hair. I think it was what 2'3", 2'8", some.
You didn't try to come with the hair type, y'all.
You got what 3'1". Listen, she got some. You know what I mean? But it's very important when we start unpacking these psychoses and these psychopathies that people have about Black folks, because I know when I was navigating through corporate America, people come up to me, hey, Ray, what do you have? And at the time, I didn't have dreadlocks at the time. I had, my hair was braided for about 7-8 years prior to me getting dreads. And they was like, so, they would ask me, is that your hair? And then they say, how long does it take to do that hairstyle? I'm like, 3 hours. So you do that every day? I'm like, why is it important? But no, they are really fascinated about the hair. And I think that is where, people come up with the term nappy hair or nappy this, nappy that, because of the white fascination behind the hair. I don't know, how do you guys feel, or how you ladies feel about that? Correct my verbiage.
I mean, I've had people come up to me at work trying to touch my. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was just saying that I've had people come up to me at work trying to touch my hair, or just being really confused if I got weave. They're like, "Oh, your hair's so long," and then if I took my weave out, "Oh, you cut your hair." They just try to rationalize any type of way about what's going on, but they really just shouldn't even speak on it because they don't know.
That is aggravating.
Yeah.
Put your hand on my head.
So aggravating.
So, Cassandra, do you want to talk about it? Do you want to expand on it, please?
No, I don't even remember exactly what I was saying. So no, I don't.
Okay. Dr. Raj, you already expanded on it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Let me.
This goes back to those slavery times too now.
Okay.
You had all this breeding, and people started having what was considered the good hair and started getting these different textures. And man, that Madam C.J. Walker bob, I don't know if y'all saw that, but that.
Well, listen, me and Stephanie, we are here in St. Louis where, Madam C.J. Walker was from, where she stole a recipe from Annie Malone.
Yeah, she stole it.
You know, and every year, in May, they had an Annie Malone May Day parade where they march all through the hood because Annie Malone ran orphanages out here with the money that she made by coming up with her products that Madam C.J. Walker stole. So you know, that's a very, very, very deep story out here. You know, I'm her husband, the guy C.J. Walker, Charles Joseph Walker. He actually comes from about 10 minutes past my house out in St. Charles. Yes, you know, that is that's real. You know, it's a lot of deep history in this city. You know, so you know we real hip on all of that because yeah, I mean that's a whole nother story in and of itself. But it actually transitions me into my next question is I want to ask, what does good hair mean to you? You know, the question is, what does good hair mean to you? Because anybody can answer it.
Good hair means to me now nothing. You know, you're branded as a child and you're taught that straight hair is better than the kinky hair. But now I'm like, and then you put the perms in and all that stuff. But you know, when you get to a certain age, you realize, why did I do that to my hair? I wish I did have my thick bush back, you know. But we just are more persuaded by what society says that we are. And I wish I could go back in time and get my original hair again instead of the permed hair. So straight hair means absolutely nothing to me.
And like, I wish that the days would come back before this weave epidemic and stuff like that was as popularized as it is now, because you know I ain't gonna even lie to y'all. I miss coming up in the house, going up in my auntie house, and you know she got that pressing cone sitting on the stove, and when she put that pressing cone on that hair, it sounded like somebody just dropped some chicken into some hot grease.
I know that's right. Listen, my mom was the pressing queen. She pressed everybody's hair.
My mom too.
Put that grease on the back of her hand.
Everybody
and she was a pressing fool.
Did anybody get burned by the pressing comb? Had to put some Vaseline on her?
Yes. That was just part of it. That was part of it.
My mom never burned me now, but I told you I burned a bang straight across because
my mom burnt me. That was only because I was moving. I think I was moving, so she burnt me then every time I moved.
See, yeah, you know, it's so popular.
The hair, the good hair. I couldn't get a relaxer until I was going to college because my mama didn't do the relaxer thing. So I was able to get a relaxer then, and I still couldn't get a relaxer. I had to get like a just for me, one of the little kitty perms, you know. But I don't regret getting a relaxer because I've been through washing the hair, that thing shrinking all the way up this long, you know, and then you got to stretch it back out. You know now that part I don't miss, but at no point did I think that it was bad hair because it shrunk up like that, because it was healthy hair, and that's what's good hair to me. Healthy hair is good hair. I don't care if it's an inch long. If it's healthy, that's good hair.
That's right.
For sure.
That's right.
I feel like I wear my natural hair way more than I did like when I was like a teenager, and I'm 28 now. So I feel like I went through my relaxer phase, went back natural, and like you'll catch me wearing my hair curly or straight. So I just feel like I'm more comfortable with it now.
Yeah.
See, and it's no secret. Tim Norman from Sweetie Pie, he got arrested this week. He had a Sweetie Pie restaurant over in Mangrove, right? And I used to get my hair done and stuff like that at a beautician behind there, right? I was up in there. You see Charles, all these people that you see on the Sweetie Pie's commercial, they all used to come up in there when they was on their breaks and stuff. I got 4D hair. You know what I'm saying? I'm past that 4C. Nappier than 4C. I got like 4 E, 4 F, something like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I used to go in there and get washed and conditioned. I go in there with a fro about this big and walk out with hair all the way right here. And when I would have like that natural, melanated hair popping, then it was so many women that were just looking at me with the stink face, just turning their nose up at me and stuff like that. And I was young, I was clueless. I didn't know why I had generated just so much hate for having, just natural long hair. But I guess it's because of the creamy crack that had destroyed. For real, my mama had long hair. Like you see this hair right here on the screen. My mother's hair was like that, but she put that creamy crack in her hair. Now she can't. Her hair don't even grow don't grow right like that no more. You know what I mean? I try to tell her, Mom, you want to take that crack out your head now. She cussed me out. Black mama. You don't say nothing no more.
Mama
Hey, don't be mama. In the black community, the mother is beyond reproach. I learned my lesson that day. Let me pivot to this question, and I want to ask: do you feel that there is more racism and colorism in the black community than elsewhere, or do we receive our biggest hate as dark-skinned people from inside our own race?
Wow,
that's a deep question.
All of the above.
I mean, listen, I was over here, I was studying putting this thing together. All right. Listen, this show was right now, it says 60%. All right. I wanted to, I wanted to do a little bit more. I'll be pressed for time, but that's a question that I wanted to talk about because you have racism and colorism is something that can be fixed. But racism, I believe, is a systematic thing, whereas racism is something that it works without actually forcing itself to work. You have it built into just how much you would even pay for your car loan. Once you fill out a car loan application and you put your zip code in there, somehow the adjusters know that your zip code is where black people live at. Whereas when you get to colorism, which is what takes place inside of the black community, I think that it is. I think that it's a lack of knowledge. I think that it's a. I think that it's a fixable problem or a repairable problem in our lifetime. Whereas the racism, I'm not so sure about. But I want to see how you all felt about colorism and racism.
Well, anybody want to go? I put racism and colorism in the same category because both of them dwell from a place of ignorance. And the same way that a person can hate someone, because it's both about hating. Both of them deal with hating someone's color. You see what I'm saying? Sure. It's just that ours, when we talk about colorism, I actually think it's a little bit deeper than racism because colorism is internal. That's something like that's self-bred. And it is something that you almost being taught in the womb, even from the types of songs that a mom sings to her baby. You know what I'm saying? The way that a mother treats that soon-to-be child that's going to be coming out. I think it's I think either one of them can be fixed, but it's something, and I don't know if I want to say fixed, but it's all about the person wanting to learn about that other thing. Everything is really comes from a place of just not being comfortable and just having fear of the unknown. But I think at the end of the day, when I put those two, when you actually look up the definition for colorism, all you got to do is just take the same color, just take that word same out, and it's racism. It's still racism. For me, I wanted to say, Trent, you are in these YouTube streets.
Yeah.
I see it a lot in these YouTube streets. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Darn it, I'm gonna say it.
No,
You
speak
have
truth to power. Speak truth to power.
You can have two sets of people coming up. You can have a light skin, a bright skin set of people, a dark skin set of people giving the same information. But because people are so conditioned, it's almost like people that are conditioned where if you got a white and a black person together talking, a lot of people, they could be saying the same thing, but people tend to believe, you know, that person of the other persuasion. They tend to listen to them more just because you're like conditioned to do it, even though they're saying the exact same thing. Or this person could be saying a bald-faced lie and you're telling the truth, and the people know they're telling a bald-faced lie, but they're conditioned to listen to that. You see that a lot in these YouTube streets. You see it on social media period, that people tend to respect the brighter skin. They like give them more respect. One of the things that we talked about earlier, Trent, and I always have to go over it. You talked about before you had to go and you had to show all these certifications and stuff that you have. Why? And it goes back to what Stephanie said too. Why do I have to go and prove to you that I did these things? Why can't you take my word for it the same way that you took Tawana's word for it? You know what I'm saying? Tawana told you that she had this going on. All of a sudden it's true. No receipts. But because somebody on this screen tells you something, why we got to go and pull out boxes and all this stuff to try to show you, you know, what we got going? That's colorism. And those aren't people of the other race that are doing that. Those are our people that are doing that. And you'll have somebody else that come along and they won't question them on one thing. Their word is bond, it's law. But yeah, you come out here and you got to go in your boxes and go pull all your paperwork out. That is colorism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Every day.
At its finest. And, you know, this is why I really tried to organize this panel as best as I could, because I wanted to get people who were foremost authorities and who kind of were credentialed people to come along and basically talk about this with me, because we have a huge obstacle to overcome. Whereas, you know, I'm one of the people who, you know, when I go into places, I am the man. You know, even though I try to remain humble, I'm the guy who you ultimately have to come back and speak to. But in some of the most tense situations, in one major situation that we all aware of, I had to send a white woman in to get the people who were in power on the phone, ultimately for me to sit there and to bring in and drive everything home, you know, and this is it. Things that people have to go through and study and research empirically. I have it all up here, you know. I have it all up here, and I can spit it like that at any given moment, because when I was raised, you know, one of the things that my father always used to say to me, say, son, you're dark. And, you know, life is hard, you know, for a black man, and you have to be better just to be equal. You know what I'm saying? You have to be greater. You got to be better just to be average in this world. And that is something that I took and internalized, because I had always had to be greater than what was against me just to be average. But, you know, Stephanie, you know, did you want to speak to it? Did you want to talk about your credentials at all?
I mean, yeah, I think just going back to that point, it's like you have to work. You truly do have to work 2 times, 3 times harder. And I mean, I can tell you right now, in my career, I feel like, you know, white people think they can kind of talk to you a certain way because they know that you're kind of going to like stay reserved, and you kind of have to like stay in your place. But actually today, I did not stay in my place at all. I actually told my boss how one of these white people who think they run everything was making me feel. And so, I mean, I feel like even though you have to work twice as hard and you have to make sure that you kind of stay on the straight and narrow, you can't kind of like dumb down your feelings. You have to be strong enough to still speak up for yourself, and you're going to respect me just like you respect everyone else. So you do have to like build yourself up to really feel that way and make other people respect you as well.
Yeah.
Cassandra, do you want to expand on that?
Now, I just strongly agree with what she just said. You just really have to demand respect. You really do from folks.
Okay.
So I just agree 100%.
Now, let me ask, as a panel of where I got melanated or dark-skinned women, do y'all feel that there is a moratorium, or to use a more
GED, please?
Is there a glass ceiling on your success as a dark-skinned Black woman? Anybody could chime in.
No, I mean, if you let yourself think there's a glass ceiling, then there will be. If you don't think that, then there's not. I mean, you have to really think that you can rise to the top. And yeah, there's few and far between, right? Like when you look at like corporate America or whatever field you're in, there's few and far between very successful Black people in general, whether they're light or dark skinned. You don't even see a lot, especially women. I mean, you might see, or men, like it's very rare. So, you just have to kind of have the confidence in yourself to be like, I'm going to be one of those people. Like, I'll be like the odd one out, or kind of the one of 100 that actually make it, to the top or whatever.
Cassandra, do you want to expand on that?
Yeah, I always say, period, not even the sky's the limit for us. And I feel that we limit ourselves with our mindsets. And I think that if we can come out of those mindsets feeling like we are limited as a Black race, period, you know what I'm saying? I think not even the sky's the limit for. We just have to unlearn a lot of things that we have learned in regards to racism and what beauty truly is, because it starts from within.
Dr. Rogers, we want to back clean up.
Now Cassandra, she hit the nail on the head when she was talking about a state of mind. I think that glass ceiling that you're speaking about, I think that glass ceiling, that's all here. That glass ceiling that is often put in place, that imaginary glass ceiling, going back to the colorism and the thing with our people, I think we are the ones that put that glass ceiling there. Because I can only speak for me and the type of work that I do. I never had someone of the other persuasion tell me what I couldn't do. I had my people telling me what I couldn't do. And they had an issue with me trying to go higher. They were the ones that were actually trying to block me. It wasn't these people that were over here, because they were doing what they do. But my folks were the ones that every time I tried to climb up, they were grabbing my ankles, trying to pull,
they're intimidated,
back down. And the thing is with that, man, that bumper glass ceiling. I want to use the F bomb, but y'all know bumper glass ceiling. Because again, we have to get ourselves in a place where we know that we know that we know, y'all, we are made of good stock. You understand what I'm saying? We were born with it. It's innate. Nobody can do anything with it if they wanted to. Like, they straight can't F with us. You see what I'm saying? Not even on our worst day. And that's just what it is. That melanin is something crucial now. You hear me? So as far as that glass ceiling, we bust that thing back open in the slavery days. Okay? We were hot then. That's why.
So I want to,
you know what I'm saying?
I want to speak on your point about, like, basically other Black people being more discriminative towards you or kind of holding you back, because I've experienced that too. And I think, I think it just speaks to, like, more so our culture where, we only think one of us or some of us can make it. And if we make it, we're like, we kind of want the rest to kind of stay where they are at and not really empower. And I feel like that's holding us back as a race in general.
And it's so sad. But why is that amongst our race? We're so quick to kick somebody down instead of, okay, now you're doing great, so help me. I've seen other races, they look back and they pull their other families up. You know, they get to the point where, okay, I'm okay in life. Let me help you. But for some reason, our race was just so divided.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you, y'all know I'm country. I worked at a chicken processing plant when I was in college, right? When I would come home for the summer. Purdue Farms. Okay. So when I worked there during the summer, I saw, when I tell you it was hundreds of them, families from Guatemala. They would come over here, make enough money, send that money back home to bring their family members over, get them over here. They'll start working, send money back home to bring more family members over. Buy these big behind buildings to put all of their family in so that they can make money for their families. I'm watching Indian families, not American Indians now, but like from India. All these people, we like to, y'all know the stories we go into. You got your Patels, you got all these other people. Listen, I see them coming together. When somebody come in the neighborhood, they got to go make sure everybody know that this person is Hindu, whoever, like they done moved into the neighborhood now, and they got to go and they start spreading stuff, and they got, okay, he got this store over here, he owns this Subway over here, he owns these 5 Subways over here, and they make sure that they network with each other and make sure that everybody is taken care of. Us, we move into the neighborhood, we trying to see who driving that Porsche right there. Who is that black man driving that Porsche? And where is that girl with him? You see what I'm saying? We so busy trying to get in somebody else's pockets instead of trying to talk to somebody like, okay, let me see what you working on. Okay. Like, help me, because I'm trying to expand too. Like, show me how I can, make some things move. No, we don't do that. Because we can't even admit the fact that somebody may know a little bit more than we do in a certain area. Listen. If you know more than I do in the area, I'm coming and I'm trying to get everything you got. I'm picking you for every piece of information you got. You gonna leave empty when you leave me.
As a doctor that deals with the mind, though, you know that comes with self-assurance. That comes with a certain level of maturity and a certain level of self. You are one with yourself when you can admit to yourself. That comes with acceptance. That's the word that I'm looking for. And it takes a long time for people to come to acceptance, especially in our community, because most things about us are lies. From the way that we're portrayed on TV, to the clothes that we're wearing, to how we dress, why we dress. I mean, particularly a lot of what's commercialized about women in America is fake. Push-up bras, acrylic nails, etc. on over. No disrespect to those things, but most things about us are fake. But it takes you getting to a certain level to win. Because I look at life like a war, right? You have battles, and then you trying to ultimately win the war. You ultimately at war with yourself. And when you realize that you're your own worst enemy, then you can really mature and you can grow past things. But however, when you are in that war, you have to be able to admit what your shortcomings are. Because once you're able to admit what your shortcomings are, your mind automatically goes towards correcting those things. However, one of the most pervasive things that I see that as a community we have to come over is abandonment. Right. And I said this up because I know Stephanie got to get out of here because she got to go to work in the morning. But we got an abandonment issue in the Black community to where when we start talking about that glass ceiling and we start talking about this moratorium that we put on ourselves that caps off our success, that caps off our dreams, that caps off our futures and our focus, then that moratorium really comes from ourselves. One, because we have not chosen to accept things, but also because we don't have a certain level of honesty about what the actual problem is. And in the Black community, we will gloss over a problem, particularly in these YouTube streets, gloss over a lot of problems. And we tend not to go out and grab the bull by the horns. And to me, if you went out and grabbed the bull by the horns, it might be violent. It might be hard. You might get hit you might get some kickback, but it's only gonna be for a minute until that bull recognizes that you're just as serious as him. So, can y'all speak about those abandonment issues that keep us infighting in our community and keep us hating on each other, please?
Yeah, I mean, that's really common with the Black communities, the abandonment, which leaves you feeling like that all your lifetime. I know someone now that, they still dealing with that issue. So I think it's the individuals and their mindsets and how they deal with the situation. We all deal with situations differently as individuals. You know what I'm saying? So you have one that can deal with it like me. I'm like, okay, it is what it is, and let's keep it moving. But then you have others that just can't keep it moving, that all their lives they're stuck in one place and not able to move forward because of their mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll always go back to the mindsets of the people, and brokenness of the people because of the mindsets. And so, we compromise a lot of things in our lives because of that. I feel we do.
Stephanie, did you want to expand on that? Is she stuck? Is she there? You stuck? You there? The wine got a control of you. Did you want to expand on the abandonment issues? Stephanie, did you want to expand on the abandonment issue? Okay, we're gonna lay it up to you, Dr. Raj. We're gonna lay it up to you.
Oh, she back.
Nah, I think she's still muted.
Okay.
Stephanie, go ahead.
I'm having connectivity issues. I can't hear any. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead. We want to lay it up to you about abandonment issues in the community, as far as infighting, hating, self-hatred, things like that. Okay. She had to burn out. She had to burn out anyway. But go ahead, Dr. Rogers.
I was gonna say, just to speak on one of the things that you said too, with people not wanting to confront certain things, and they don't really want to have to deal with the confrontation that comes along with it. Like you said, if you go ahead and confront that monster, that beast, or whatever it is, there might be some pain in it, but eventually you'll be able to tame that beast. That beast can be tamed, but it's like we get so again, it's fear, and we weren't built off fear. That's not what we were built on. And I would say with the abandonment too, I see it from another side too, that some of us are so afraid of doing things on our own. We're afraid of being abandoned. We get so dependent upon other people that we trick ourselves into thinking that we can't go. And going back to what you guys said, we create our own glass ceiling because we're afraid of being abandoned. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like in this YouTube thing, like, you may come in with the group of people or whatever, but then it gets to a point where you might have to step out on your own. And you can't be afraid of losing a few along the way. You can't be afraid of getting out and doing things on your own, because at the end of the day, you have to be the one to set what heights you can go to. And the more people that you tend to be around, the more dependent you become upon those people. They start setting the tone, and they start setting your levels for you. And at some point, I mean, a little abandonment is a good thing.
Yeah.
So,
and see, I'm a vivid researcher, and one of the things that I used to find out is that I have done expansive studies into African culture, African society, as well as world culture and world societies. And I created this thing. It was called The Bridge, and people, they were like, Trent, you start preaching and stuff like that. But one of the biggest things that I really saw is that when you get a ecosystem that has become infamished, and all of the resources and all of the productive things of that community, they kept the community intact. Once those things start to fall off, and those things start to get washed away, then it's natural for humans to pick up and move to an area that's plentiful and that's fruitful. You don't have to stay in the old way You can't move on past the old way. And what would happen is that, you know, by us being African people originally, we were a tribal people. So when those areas in that ecosystem would die off, they would burn up the old society so that they could not go back and they can only move forward to the new society. So when I say that, hey, I'm establishing a bridge, that means that we got to burn down this old society, this old way that's no longer working, that's unfamished. I'm sorry, that's famished, that's not producing anything for us. If we got to go to more fruitful things that are nourishing, that are actually going to work for us. But inside of that, I will say that sometimes, you know, you can abandon something too soon to where people will say that they will look for a new solution when they have not tried the solution that has been there. You have talked about it, but actually dedicated yourself and tried the new solution and saw it through before you sought to critique it. I don't know if it's in there that you know you guys connected with. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I don't know if there's anything in there that you guys connected with in that statement, but that's how I see abandonment. I see it as we are still a people, as Dr. Joy DeGruy says. We are still a people that have not been detoxed from the lingering effects of slavery. And by us not being detoxed from those lingering effects of slavery, we still have the issues from the plantation being permeated in our everyday life. And so since we have not gone in and done any corrective action on that slavery mindset, we still have it there. So so me hating on another black person is because my mama was on the plantation and Master Jennings sold her off. And so, you know, it might be natural in me not wanting to see my mama for me to say, man, you don't want to say her out. You don't want to see her. She got two crooked feet. Because the reality of it is, I don't want to lose my mother. And I feel that is what goes on in the black community now, is that people don't want to see you grow, because then they might lose you because they may not be able to hit the level that you're getting ready to take them to. I don't know. Do y'all feel the same way, or do you feel differently? Is there anything you want to add?
I would add, when you were talking about the still with the, I agree with what you said. Even with the, I'm thinking that we lack something that we call not so much abandoning people early, but you're lacking that stick-to-itiveness. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like I think we have a fear of commitment.
See, there you go. I'm about to give you that word too.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna use you an example. Okay, so you're doing this thing, and I'm like, man, Trent is giving some good information, right? And I want to lock in. But then it goes back to this distrust that we have of our own people. Lord. So we won't put it all the way there. We'll listen. We'll tune in. We'll even subscribe. But I can't commit because it's something about my people that I still don't trust. It's not that they gave me a reason to not trust them. It's just something about my people. It's something from way back when that I'm still holding on to. You know how you were just saying anything like, don't take my mama, she got 2 left feet. It's not that you're against your mama or anything. You still got that little piece of selfishness in you, like, okay, I want my mama to stay here. And that creates a certain degree of untrustworthiness amongst us, even though it's something that we all do, right? So it's something that we all do. So I think, and just in the grand scheme of things, everything comes back to what you said earlier, to what Cassandra said, to Stephanie, to what Stephanie said. Everything comes back to our own thinking and our perception of ourselves and our perception of our people and our perception of other people and what they think about us. If we stop worrying about what other people thought and just focused on what we have going on, because we were born with innate capabilities that nobody else has. Each one of us has something individual that we were blessed with. If we stop worrying about what everybody else have going on, like Cassandra was saying, not only is the sky is the limit. I mean, it's infinite. There is no limit. I mean, it's you like Buzz Lightyear, infinity and beyond. You know, it's on us.
So everybody else done dropped off. So I guess now we can have this grad school conversation.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So we have a big issue that goes on. Okay, one person don't want to trust another person, and then it comes down to the fact of everybody ain't gonna go with you. Okay, and everybody likes to be a part of something that's good. Everybody likes to be a part of something that's great. And you have everybody that will twiddle thumbs and wait for somebody to come with the solution. I mean, even when we start to look at the FBI's COINTEL profiles, the FBI came with the COINTEL profiles, and they said we have to stop the rise of the Black Messiah. Messiah is a word for one person. Okay, Messiah, when we date all the way back, you know, you have to date it back to who the original Messiah is, or so we know, you know, Jesus or Mithra or Krishna or Zaritru, whoever you choose is, but you are trying to stop the rise of the Black Messiah. And you have people who want to be the number one. Okay, but history has taught us that when we have ever had a Black Messiah, that Messiah has gotten washed away, whether it was King, whether it was Malcolm, whether it's Farrakhan, whether it was Elijah Muhammad, Marcus Garvey, you name them. Whenever Huey Newton, whenever you had a Messiah, and you looked at for that one person to be the cause to your problems, that's the beginning of all of your problems, is the Messiah complex. And if we don't say that we as a community, we have to do better, each one by themselves has to do better, and we have to do better collectively as a community, we ain't gonna be able to grow and expand past that, you know, which gives us the issue of Black girls, give us the issue of Black boys, or blackness, darkness. All of that is a stemming problem from slavery. I think that we have never addressed, and I don't know if we got any corrective. You know, do you know a corrective form of action that we can take towards it?
It would be good if, you know, like in the type of work that you do, you know, if something happens, you know, we are always reactive instead of being proactive. So after something happens, now we got to go, and everybody got to go and take these trainings and all this stuff. You know, something happened, we got to go take a cultural diversity training. Like, you got to go and do stuff later. It will be good. And actually what you're doing right now, I think this is a corrective action. If I had to go and write this up, this would be a corrective action, because it's getting people to start looking inside themselves and really start questioning themselves. And this is something with Black people, we don't want to be questioned. We don't want nobody questioning us. Like, it is what it is. And we for darn sure ain't gonna question ourselves, not out loud anyway. Okay, it's time to be questioned. When we see things not going right, I tell my guys. I tell my guys, you know, we learn coming up, if at first you don't succeed, try again. I had to switch that up some. And I said, if at first you don't succeed, give it up and try something else. Now, I'm not saying, okay, you didn't get it right the first time, just give it up. What I mean is modify. And when we're in these streets and we're doing this stuff, and we see that going behind this person or going in this direction, if we see it's not working, then we have to go back. We got to regroup. We got to do an evaluation of what we have going on, and we can't be so stuck in our feelings and so stuck on our own darn egos that we're not willing to modify. Because there are times that we need to modify as a people. We need to modify in these YouTube streets. We need to modify. And the problem that we have is a lot of people want to be leaders, but nobody wants to take that follower training. They skip over that.
And that's why I tell people all the time. They always try to praise me, Trent, you this, Trent, you that. In this very same room that I'm sitting in, You know, I didn't have a desk in here. I didn't have all of this stuff in here. I actually sat right here for 9 summers straight in this room every day reading and taking notes. Right now, I'm surrounded by about 6 or 7 books that I'm all reading simultaneously. And one of the biggest things when you start talking about modification, we both come out of that government system. The government system is ran by SOPs, TTPs, some type of booklet, instruction manual. But inside of every booklet and instruction manual, it starts off with a title, meaning this is what you're getting ready to get into. But as you open up that booklet, the first page of it, it tells you, it restates the title, and then it gives you a versioning, meaning we started with version 1. Then we saw what was messed up with version 1. Then we went to 1.1, and we went to 1.2 and 1.3. And every time we update and expand it, we
got a new supplement coming.
Right. It's a new, we added something, we appended it one more time. Then when we upgrade our thinking, we move on to version 2. And so when you're talking about that training of being the follower, we are stuck on version 1. We never moved to 1.1, can't move to 1.2, can't move to 1.3, because the biggest thing that you said was about egos. About egos. I don't have a problem sitting in the back, but when I get on the floor, when somebody give me a microphone and I'm able to spit like that, is because I don't spend my time talking about somebody who's beneath me. Okay, I will do a live stream of 2-3 hours versus studying this stuff, knowing this stuff. I'm throwing it up against other people who have the information or other people who have opinions. What we have is that we don't aggrandize, so to say, the think tank. Okay, so when we don't aggrandize the think tank, when we having building sessions as Black people, we don't want to do the building session because the building session, it ain't sexy. When it's time for the show, nobody want to go to rehearsal. Everybody want to show up at the show. All right, when we go to the show, everybody say you should have sung it like this, you should have sung it like that. If you were at rehearsal, we would respect your opinion. But since this is what we rehearsed and this is what we perfected in rehearsal, we got to go forward with it because this is the best plan that we have at this point in time. And I think that as it pertains to these YouTube streets, that's what our issue is. And I'll say one more thing. When I came in, I cover the R. Kelly topic. I do the R. Kelly thing. But I said, it would be a travesty for me to gain the attention of the masses to have videos that have done 25,000 views, and then I don't put anything of spiritual enlightenment, of anything to nourish the mental space. Doing when I got the voices of the masses, we went there. We get the voices of the masses to start twerking, to start having wet bikini contests, to start rapping, to start drinking and blunt smoking. I'm surrounded by liquor and all of that stuff right now. But when I'm in my bag, I don't take this opportunity for granted to be able to talk to the masses. And I think that people are taking this for granted.
What you have just described, my dear friend, is the realistic meaning of what good or what does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul.
Yeah.
We get blessed with all this stuff and we get the platform to do certain things. Okay, you got it. Now what are you going to do with it?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing to help just empower your people?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm in school.
I agree with you, because one of the things that frustrates me the most is that I sit here at 50% of myself because I try to keep in tune with the community, right? And so when you were speaking about getting questioned and all of those things about lesser people, all right, the true thing is that I know what my potential is. If I tapped into my potential, I don't have to live in this house where Stephanie over here saying, my dad pulled up in a Porsche. I could be right there right now. You know, the reason that I handicapped my own success to stay true to the black community, to stay true to brothers, because the fundamental problem that I saw when I walked into corporate America at the age of 19 was that it was nobody that looked like me. Nobody spoke like me. Even if we had black men there, they were henpecked. They were acquiesce and they would capitulate to the status quo. And as long as you don't maintain a self identity, that's the insertion point for confusion. Because you have seen people be built up on a false pedestal to have it yanked out, to have it yanked away from them, and that is what I like to call them the oppressor. That's what I call them. I don't say white folks. I don't get into that. I call them what they are, the oppressor. That's what the oppressor does, is gives you a false sense of hope, i.e. ego, you know, which is it's false. It's an ego. You know, if you didn't have an ego, it would be a totality. Okay, well, you don't have ego and you are really great, it's called racism. Racism is the biggest ego in the world. You know what I mean? But you know, when you build yourself up on false gratitude, on false hope, you get a false ego. Then that is the central magic carpet that they yank out from up under you when they give you when it's the opportune time for the oppressor. You know, and those are my personal feelings towards.
That's what we call that grandiosity. When you keep building yourself up, you know.
And so, like one of the things I have been out here and I have seen you get attacked with colorism and stuff like that, and I never understood it. You know, I never understood it at all. And I actually thought about you first, honestly, when I saw this, because we come on, we do the morning shows, the people who are here, some of them are around, and two of the articles that were in Black Enterprise this week, it says that we're going to be having more, it's an assertive effort to make more women CEOs right now than any other time in the world. Coupled with the fact that during the same time, Oprah just did the part 2 of the Black Girls documentary. And so, I try to cover all of these things. Because I want to create the conversation so that we have some type of blueprint so that we can go and do things, because I don't think that the world is ever going to fix itself.
Right.
I think we have to create a proactive, some type of proactive plan to start fixing the Black community. Some think tanks, some type of investment tanks where we could go out and buy banks and we can really, get out of the hood and build a Black community. What do you think is our way forward? Because I sit at your feet, because I'm still got that high school diploma.
Boy, bad. Those think tanks are a necessity. They're not even optional. They are a necessity. You know what I'm saying? It's like writing that paper. Yeah, you might be a good writer, but if you don't brainstorm in advance, even if it's in your head, you got to do that brainstorming so that you can get your thoughts together to be able to, express yourself on paper. That's something we don't like, the preparation. And one of the things that I've learned is that if you fail to prepare, then you prepare to fail. And that's what a lot of our issues are right now. We don't want to put that prep work in. Like you said, that kind of stuff is not sexy. No. So we got to get out of the place where it's just about doing the things that are cute. You know what I'm saying? You got to be willing to put your boots on the ground. Yeah. You got to be willing to get your feet dirty. It's just like being a supervisor. When I manage a facility, I can't go as a leader and expect my subordinates to do something that I'm not willing to do. I can't be willing to go and have them put themselves on the front line without me being willing to stand in front of them. I can't expect them to go and get muddy and I'm walking around with clean white linen on like I never seen a piece of dirt a day in my life. That's why it goes back. If you want to lead, you will never be a good leader until you learn how to follow.
Exactly.
You'll never be a good leader unless you knows what it feels like to be a follower. Anything, I mean, if you're getting up there and you haven't done that, then what you're doing is just perpetrating because you really don't know what you're doing. You just faking it to make it. And so I think that we need to have a real focus on some leadership type things. And it's not leadership where I'm trying to go and get you to be, the CEO of this corporation. I mean, leadership, even if it's just being a leader in your home, a leader in your community, showing young people how to lead and showing them that at the same time, even when you're leading, even if you're a leader, you're still following something, or you're still following somebody, like you talked about, Trent, with those manuals and all the supplements that come along with them. There's still somebody and on top of that somebody that's on top of that somebody. So you're always leading in some type of way. We have to be comfortable. I'm following in some type of way. We have to be comfortable with, you have that leadership that's in you, but we have to be comfortable learning from other people. Even if they on the GED level, even if they don't have a GED. You know what I'm saying? That little boy, I don't want to get on a politics thing, but the little boy that spoke last night and he was stuttering. And Lord, that just blessed my soul. But anyway, somebody like that, people would mock. I don't know if he was 11, 12, I don't know. He was like a preteen. And we would think that we couldn't learn anything from him. Somebody may look at you, you sitting up here, you're a black man. You got your hair locked up. They look at, man, he don't know nothing. He's somebody from the hood. That's because you hadn't dug in that box and dug that stuff out. But we're so conditioned to think that it has to be this type of person giving this information. We got to get out of that, because you can learn something from a rock. Okay? Because it can show you that it hurts if you get hit with it. You can learn something from a rock. We have to take every moment that we have and make sure that every moment is an experience that we learn something from. You can't let any moment just be no moments can be in vain. Everything that we do should be something that's helping to build not just us, but to build our people. And if we're not trying to build, or we're not trying to get that bridge, if you're not doing that, you're not doing anything. You're talking loud and saying nothing.
Look, I have been a student of many people, right? So it's not, it is, when you watch my videos, I will give you 10 to 15 minutes of somebody who I learned from coming into the video before I start my commentary, because, over here, it's a science behind all of this. I go into the visual, I go into the production element of it, from having your microphones right, having the cameras and things right. And in radio, which this is a visual form of radio for me, you don't want dead space. So one of the big things that I always used to hate, just as a producer, would be when you would come in, you would be like, all right, y'all, I'm giving y'all, I'm waiting for the room to come on in. You go live, let that go on ahead play, where you setting a message, y'all. By the time the sermon, the speech, whatever it is, gets finished playing, then your room is filled up. Now you can go straight into the message or whatever. The taste bud, the palate has already been stimulated, and then you go on into it, and so it's a science behind everything that is done, and you have folks to where one of my favorite, actually not one of my favorite musical artists of all time is Stevie Wonder. And Stevie Wonder has this song called Ads, and he says that you can't be in it and not of it, right? And so what we have seen in the YouTube streets and at the world at large, you see a bunch of people that do infighting, and then they want to be in the authoritative seat. But how can you be in it and not of it? Meaning, if you are now here, you saying that you want to lead, what were you doing prior to getting here where you were showing leadership? Where's your resume?
Are you qualified?
You qualify yourself. Show me your resume. Everything that I do is not something that I just came up with. So when I see people steal my stuff, I see people copy my format, and it's like, yo, you taking something, you don't even know what you taking. You don't know what you taking. You have no idea of how powerful this is. So like when you see the superhero movie and they be like, listen, you can't take the sorcery stones. You don't know how powerful they are. You know what I mean? It is, you have no idea of the different levels of science that you are dealing with. This is something that comes out of Egypt or whatever, and alchemy, and you start messing with protons and neurons. Take one out of here, you go down. I can create gold. You start messing with the atomic table. These people, they don't understand the science behind everything that's going on, and we have to see the works. Okay, to me, mentally, it shows a minor form of retardation when you can be out here operate. I ain't trying to be funny, but it shows a minor form of retardation when you can talk about the same exact thing in the same exact way for a year and a half, 2 years at some point, and it never gets old. Like, to me, that's just, your brain is supposed to develop beyond just being satisfied with just one thing, and I'm starting to see mild forms of retardation, and I ain't even playing. I'm dead serious. I'm starting to see mild forms of retardation.
Is it retardation, Trent, or is it going back to that glass ceiling that you mentioned earlier?
Yeah. I mean, it's all of it, because I asked the question about the glass ceiling because my father was the one who made me the man who I am today. Everybody heard my mom come on. Mom is like, my father is who made me who I am today. You know what I mean? He put a little Joe Jackson on me. You know what I mean? But in all seriousness, he said that as a black man, you get to a point to where you become a straw ball. And one of the biggest things about me is that I always try to remain independent, not apart from the group. But when I go into the group, one of the biggest things that I see is people say, well, can we go over here? Can we reach out to this person to do that? Can we reach out to that person? And I don't like reaching out to nobody to do anything, because inside of reaching out to another person, we don't become self-sufficient. So if we can reach out to Oprah and Oprah can do it right away, that would be cool, but then we would be reliant upon Oprah. I would rather spend 10 years figuring out how to be equal to Oprah than to have her do something for me in 10 minutes and I'm forever dependent upon her. It's an old saying that say, teach a man how to
give
fish.
Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day.
There you go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's so real. It's so real that, again, that glass ceiling, we have to break free from that. We got to get past that glass ceiling, because you can handcuff your success. The system wants you reliant on the system. When you can listen to bloggers, and the bloggers won't give you the information. They won't reveal, where you get the information from. Everything I tell people, I show them where I got it from, because I want you to study what I have learned and ultimately be better than me and go in and correct me and say, well, Trent, I read the same thing and I look at it this way, so you can spark something up in my mind. I don't claim to be omniscient, which means all-knowing, for the GD people. I don't claim to be omniscient. I claim to be somebody that is in search for enlightenment. You know what I'm saying? So I get I get turned off when people be like, you so smart. it make it seem like I'm done learning. You know what I'm saying? When I'm still actually learning and I'm looking to be corrected, or I'm looking for somebody to reach into my sources and pull something out that I couldn't even extract.
I think the good thing about us right now, if we allow things to happen, we do have, some people that like to just, they stay on this. Some people stay on this. Some people stay on this. The good thing is there's room for everybody at the table.
Yep.
There's room for everybody at the table. And once you are in a certain lane and you're looking and you see that that's no longer your lane, or you have come to the end of that road and it's time for you to head into another direction, then we all have the capability and the wherewithal to start going and veering off onto another path, because maybe our journey on this path has come to an end. We've come to that intersection in the road, and it's time for us to turn off and go another way, because maybe the skills or whatever we were supposed to apply to this situation, that season has passed. You know what I mean? So the people that were meant to deal with this, then that's the lane they stay in. The people that are supposed to go and keep providing more and more information to really get people thinking, then they tend to veer off in that lane. Like, everybody has that lane. And I hope you recognize the lane that you're in. And don't YouTube have you veering off in all kinds of directions. Social media pit life.
I was like Moses. I was like Moses and them. I was lost out in the wilderness. You know what I mean?
How many days?
For 40 days. I was lost out in the wilderness. My people started falling off. But then when I got back, when I got back into my proper form, some of the people that I thought had gone away, they started coming back. But I had to realize that I was lost and I was off in the wilderness. For real, I was lost and I was off in the wilderness. And I do podcasts so that I can cover all of the topics. So when I do my podcast, I keep a one format. I go and find a historical connotation to what I'm saying, and then I walk you from the historical connotation back on up into present day. You know what I'm saying? But right now I gotta walk back. And so when you saying that everybody has a path, well, right now we got religion, we got Islam, Christianity, and Judaism are the three Abrahamic religions that are the three most popular. But that comes out of Greco-Roman thought. Okay, when we get Constantinople, this is what gave us the one God council. This is what I covered on my last Sunday show. And that Greco-Roman thought, though, you had many gods, right? You had Poseidon, who was the god of the sea. You had Ares, who was the god of war. You had Athena, who was the goddess of war, the goddess of chaos. You had Zeus, Hercules. Zeus was the father of fire. And I mean, you had many different wars. And you see people who want to be the one supreme God when we really have a representation or a model for many goddesses. Now when we ultimately get back to Africa, we had Ra, which was the sun who brought enlightenment and gave a source of power to all things.
Everything always leads back to
melanin. Yeah. Melanin. I mean, we could. I say we got a form of it. Now we could get back to that, but we're not even. To go all the way back to that. We got to get past understanding how we got in the United States from England and all of that. So I have been, trying to do this work to, I'm gonna address the elephant in the room. We talk about the R. Kelly thing, but when you don't talk about somebody who is in the world that can create a R. Kelly situation, you have missed the mark. You know what I'm saying? You have missed the whole conversation if you don't talk about the world and how we get here. You won't have any understanding of what's going on. From Senator Patrick Moynihan talking about fatherlessness in America in 1965. We can't just act like we have things that just happen. We got to do sociology and understand where our problems come from. But
with the problem, there's always a root.
Look, and that's it. But I think we did 2 hours. We didn't got this topic. We didn't bust this thing down like good ether on cocaine. You know what I'm saying? We done broke it down. We might have to do a return segment now that we created the conversation. They steal a lot of stuff. Somebody might steal this one. So but yeah, we try to do everything. So I just want to thank you for coming on to Opinionated. I know it was last minute, but I want to say I appreciate you and thank you for coming on and shedding your expertise and giving us light and adding what you add to the conversation, because I've been trying to take people to the grad school level for about a month, about 3 years.
I'm looking at your banner and your little ticker running across the bottom.
What? Enjoy my original commentary for these niggas. Listen, man, I got, listen, I get, I don't watch other bloggers. I get told to go and watch this and watch that. So you watch it, and then you like, man, this dude is really, he really going in. Then I'll be like, oh, I said that before. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, listen, enjoy it over here. Enjoy it over here because it'll be stolen by if I say it over here at 9 a.m., it'll be stolen by 12.
Trent, never forget that imitation is the highest form of flattery.
Yeah. It is. It is. I ain't gonna even lie to you. But the problem with the imitation comes in at I sit here. I got 3 computers next to me. I got notebooks. I got.
That's your cognac you just had in your hand right there.
This my yak. This is one of my yaks and stuff like that. I got this book. I study the warfare because I say that we're in a constant state of warfare. I got 10 different I got 12 different shows I'm working on simultaneously at every point. At every point. I got Everything Is a Rich Man's Trick. They Came Before Columbus, the Illuminati, the Conspiracy. I got my shows set up. So each show that I do, it could be 10 hours of research that go into it. And somebody go and listen to it, and they'll be stole. They'll be, these people, they ain't did nothing. They go and steal it and pass it off as though they did it.
Trent, I don't see that because I be minding my business.
Hey, I mind mine too. But it get bored to me because it's like, even though I say I don't do drama, right? You still get them. Listen, I know you don't do drama, but I hate that word. But I think that word need to get kicked out the English dictionary. Listen, I know you don't do drama. Then you go and you listen to it. You're like, what? And it's not like you dealing with a hot topic, right? When you're dealing with breaking news, everybody you haven't had time to thoroughly vet and research all the way into breaking news,
right?
So everybody's story is gonna pretty much be the same. I'm talking about something that might have been out there 2 or 3 weeks, and you had time to look at it, examine it, and things like that. So, I covered Jamel Hill, right? The story had been out there about what her and Ed Gordon said about family member. So I went into that and I'm like, hold on, Jamel, you got fired from ESPN because of your own indiscretion. So what does it say in the Bible? Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. And we have that thing bad in our community to where we rush to judgment before we fully understand it. But when we dealing with the oppressor and we playing out of the oppressor's playbook, when something happen to white folks don't never throw each other under the bus. Let's say we still waiting for all of the information. We still waiting for all the information, right?
Question. Well, what kind of real buzz have you heard about Steve Bannon this week?
Nothing. And the number what I heard, well, I will be in the know because I'm subscribed to about 30 newspapers right now.
but you're like in these YouTube streets. What?
No, you ain't heard anything about it. No, you haven't heard anything about it. I mean, eventually I'm gonna cover it, next week because it's gonna be a news topic. I know that it was hot like yesterday and today. And it didn't come across the Wall Street Journal or like the New York Times, my top stories in the two newspapers that I pull the most from. So I haven't covered it. But let's just say that you go and cover Steve Bannon and you do it so much justice, you're gonna have somebody going, oh yeah, I like that. And they taking notes. The main people that come on and they give you dislikes. You ain't got a strong 5 minutes into you ain't got
30 seconds.
Right. Commentary. You didn't announce you doing a video and you already got dislikes. Like, damn, I didn't even online yet. How do you know what I was gonna say? You ain't even got into it, and it's already disliked. And then these same people who dislike it, they be sitting in the bushes and they be stealing all of it. Like one of the craziest things in the world is I went on to one blogger's platform and was ambushed, and I had one of the people who was on there, somebody I don't know, literally don't know, never had a phone conversation about, was unaware that the person existed till I went on a platform, say, oh, I don't like Trent. How can you not like somebody who you don't know? Yeah. And I never said anything about you, never done anything to you. I ain't did anything to nobody. I responded to things that people have, done to me. But this is cooning at its best.
Well, I mean, that's the one thing that I've learned from all this YouTube stuff. And I can tell you, Trent, like for real, the disrespect that I've seen on here, and I'm gonna speak for me, I have never, like in real life, had people disrespect me the way that I've been disrespected on YouTube. And I ain't bad like that. And I don't go beating people up, and I ain't a self-proclaimed, thug or nothing like that, but I don't have people stepping to me like that in real life.
Yeah.
And on here, it's like you get a license to disrespect.
Yeah.
You get that license. But the thing is, whenever it's time for you to come back and defend yourself, it's like your license get revoked. You don't get to do certain things. And it goes back to what your friend, I don't know if she's your friend, but Stephanie, what she said earlier, people know that you're going to, you can only go so far because you have something to lose.
Right.
So that's the one thing that I've seen out here. People won't allow you to show the respect that you want to show. I have respect for everybody out here in these streets. I don't dislike anybody out here because I don't know you. Just like you said, I don't know you to dislike you. You might not be my cup of tea, but like, I don't know you, and you for darn sure don't know me. You know what people tell you, but you don't know. Because it's like if you did, you wouldn't even carry yourself like that. I think that that's a part of the thing that we need to do to start correcting too. Like, you have to demand that respect, and that demand has to be consistent.
Yeah.
You can't waver on it.
Yeah, but what I see right here is the first person to win an Oscar was Hattie McDaniel, and she was playing a man, right? The first form of visual entertainment in America was minstrel shows.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are over 100 years later, and we still have a minstrel show that goes on every day at 12 o'clock, 1 p.m. Eastern time. We have had an ongoing minstrel show for a year and a half, and it's like, yo, when are we gonna get past the minstrel show? When, do y'all not understand what a minstrel show is, where you have somebody basically dressing up in blackface with these exaggerated features, or to use a more universal term, embellished features or embellished stories, if you will, in parentheses. You have people come on with these embellishments, and it's an ongoing thing. That was the first form of entertainment. And so, to put it in context of the show, we standing 300 years or 400 years after slavery, maybe 40, 50 years after segregation, 100 years after Hattie McDaniel won the first Oscar. Matter of fact, the first movie in America is Birth of a Nation. That was a minstrel. That was a minstrel show. That was a minstrel movie, And so, why are we still looking at Birth of a Nation every single day? We looking at Birth of a Nation, or the Watermelon Heights, or everything that is negative about Black folks. You can find it here. And some of the things that people will do in honor of somebody who many of them have never met, that many people don't know personally, or to say that you're doing this for somebody, for that person, when in reality is that you're doing it for yourself, because you have unresolved issues in you that you need to fix. It is sorry. It's sorry at its highest forms. And for me, it's cumbersome to the point to where you no longer really want to be a part of it, because I'm not Bojangles. I'm not about to start temp dancing on over here. I have some form of self-pride that I'm not gonna be a part of the minstrel show, a part of the Coon Fest. I don't do it in white America. You know what I'm saying? I don't smile in the face of my oppressor. So I'm not going to come over here and smile with you. I'm good, man. I choose not to be a part of it, and I don't get down with it. I realize that we are in a war, that this is open warfare that's being practiced here, metaphysically, so to say. But we are in open warfare, and you have to strategize. Strategizing is the first part of warfare. So if you're not having a strategy session, what are you doing? What's your strategy? And
you're planning to fail.
and that's what we're moving to. That's what the next wave is. So for the people who are stealing commentary, who's stealing things, the next thing that we are getting ready to move to is your strategy. The first chapter in the book of the 33 strategies of war, the first chapter is strategy. So I'm telling you, they get into self-directed warfare. Okay, self-directed warfare. You have to add, and that chapter is about strategy. So I'm telling people right now who want to steal what I'm going to say, don't wait for me to give you the finished product and steal the finished product. I'm telling you where I'm getting ready to go. But you got to do the work to beat me. In saying it the way that I'm gonna say it, and that's all that I'm talking about. That's why come you see that banner down there. And two, I got in reading, which is something that our people leave behind, we find out that all of the wealth that was generated by America equals $24 trillion. And they get us into these thought patterns to where we got to make a choice between two evils. Nobody ever stops and says that we've been choosing between two slave masters since we got here in America. How about we get out of this slavery? That would be nice. And so I'm not voting for Donald Trump. I'm not voting for Joe Biden. I'm voting for my $24 trillion in reparations. That's why I come as third. Whoever got my $24 trillion in reparations, that's who I'm voting for. That's what I want. My $24 trillion in reparation, preferably in cash, but I do take PayPal, Cash App, and Visa. So that's where I am, but look, I ain't gonna drag it all the way out.
Listen, you asked the question earlier, what can be done? This is it right here. You're being a trailblazer right now. YouTube needs something different. Black YouTube needs something different. They need something different. I don't know about you. Well, I think I kind of do know, but I'm tired. You understand what I'm saying? Tired. Like emotionally, spiritually, like from all this stuff, it's tiring to have to go through all this stuff with your own people. You know what I'm saying? So it's time for somebody to blaze that trail, to get people looking at other things, because it's hard to solve one issue if, well, you said it earlier, if you're neglecting all the other things that are out there that could possibly help you solve this issue. That tunnel vision is real. And it's time. We got to open up. We got to stop letting people think that we just this, one trick pony. Like we don't have other things that we can be doing. And that's why I say everybody do what they do. Everybody do what they do. Don't worry about nobody taking your stuff, because the one thing that I believe is that 5 different people can do the same exact thing, and all 5 of them going to come out completely different, because it's all about where your passions lie. And if you're taking someone else's material or whatever it is, and that's not your passion, you'll never be able to duplicate what someone else does. It doesn't matter if you show the exact video that they did, you'll never be able to duplicate it. Because it didn't come from your heart. So
right. And it's a different
thing.
And listen, that's where I'm trying to go. But like I say, I'm giving everybody the playbook. All right, we got chapter 5. They came before Columbus. All right, chapter 5 there. Listen, we got your strategy and warfare there. We got to do chapter 2 in the book of what's that book called? Woman Suffrage, because out of the woman suffrage movement, we have to fully understand the woman suffrage movement to understand what we are dealing with, in the case of R. Kelly, or in the case of the world today, to where you have these homosexuals that have taken over the Black Lives Matter movement. Where did this stuff come from? This is an offshoot of the woman suffrage movement. And we have to really go into these things and unpack them, because one of the biggest travesties that I see in the world is that you have people that are now turning down statues because of George Floyd's death. But these people, when you look at them, these people like 30 years old, 40 years old. You've been walking past this statue your whole life. You ain't know what this was until now. You just now got the courage to tear this down. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to not have to be provoked to take action. You're supposed to take action because it's your God-given it's your God-given reason. You know what I'm saying? And so this is what I want to really, I'm really trying to impregnate the mind to go out and plant. I'm trying to plant the seed to impregnate the mind of enlightenment, or I'm sorry, I said enlightenment. I mean empowerment. Meaning I'm giving you the will and the power to effect change. And you don't have to wait for me to affect change. You don't have to wait for Dr. Rogers or whoever your favorite blogger is you can affect change by yourself.
By
You
your
know,
darn self.
I mean, what they say, vengeance is mine, said the Lord. You know, but the biggest things that I always like to teach people is that, you know, when we talk about Africa, we talk about melanin. People say we come from a land of kings and queens. We come from a land of gods and goddesses.
Mm-hmm.
We come from a land of that. We still are kings and queens. We still are gods and goddesses. You know, it said that God was having a reflection. He crafted man in the image of himself, meaning that you were God. He modeled himself after you. I mean, come on, you can read something and not understand what you are reading. You know what I'm saying? And so, well, listen, my bad. I paid attention in the second grade. Hey, you know,
You went to Sunday school then.
yeah, I was paying attention in the second grade. They said that the second part of reading is comprehension.
Uh-huh.
Meaning that when you read this, you can go and read all the way through it. I read these books. This come before we got this book club. I read. They came before Columbus, right? But I take my time. Listen, I got this highlighter right here. And I comprehend it when I'm reading it, you know, because you got to understand it. People can read it, not understand what they read it. And I say that to say that you have something inside of reading, inside that comprehension is the beginning of understanding. So, you know, they say that you got 7 wonders of the world. Nobody ever had to tell me that the wonder of Stonehenge is that it's a clock. You know what I'm saying? I reached inside my melanin, so to say, and my melanin told me that it's a clock. When the sun shines that way and you get this reflection at this angle, it's telling you that it's this season, that the earth is over here and it's over there. It's in the same pattern, same you know, structure as a clock. I never read a book to understand that or nothing, but all that I'm saying is start reading and start comprehending what it is that you are reading, and that's your way forward.
It's a dangerous thing when that melanin start talking to you, ain't it?
Listen, I lived out. I'm gonna tell you something. I got transferred to Fort Huachuca 3 years ago. Lived out in the mountains of Sierra Vista, Arizona, and I was living at about 5,000 feet of elevation. And living out there in the mountains started speaking to me, like. Really start talking to me. They like, Ray, what you doing? Like when I branch off and I don't try to be a part of the cliques, I don't try to be a part of the group. Those mountains, that elevation started talking to me because I got away from St. Louis. I got away from everything that I know, everybody that I know. And then I just started looking at how my life just started getting better. And I didn't think about it, that I was moving away from what the issue was. The issue was the people that I thought that I needed to be connected to, because they were family, because they was friends, because I had known them 30 years. I started losing weight because I realized that, hey, I don't really need to go and grab that donut in that cappuccino from 7-Eleven because it's right around the corner. You know, I'm out here, I'm living, and I ain't even thought about that. You know, you once in a while you miss something from back home, but when you start when you stay in one place, you start to get complacent, you know, and complacency is the beginning of disaster. For me, you know, how many times do people effectively look at their lives and say, why do I do this? Right? We had Tim Norman from Sweetie Pies get arrested, and that I live out here in St. Louis. That is the nastiest looking slop that you ever would want to eat. Like, that's the nastiest looking food you would ever want to eat. So why would, you know, but that's a slave diet. Nobody ever thought we no longer slaves. Why do we have a slave diet? But that's where we are in the world, is we still got to get past this slave diet. We still got to get past being in these places, and you have to get to a place of quietness to start start having an intrinsic journey. I know it's a $5 word, y'all. Start having an intrinsic journey.
That's a $50 word.
Yeah, $50 word. Listen, you have to get past that. You have to get to a place of quietness, to a place where you have peace, because in peace, then you can start to philosophize. And philosophy is just you taking corrective action and you strategizing what's the most effective way to chop down the tree. But you have folks that they gonna disturb your peace, so you can't get to the point where you can connect to your blackness, to your melanin, to your carbon, whatever you choose to call it. You cannot connect to that inner life force that connects you to the ethers in the universe.
One of the things in psychology that you're talking about with your mountains and all that stuff, we do, I'll be talking about cognitive behavioral therapy. And one thing, in order for you to change, you have to make sure that you're changing everything. You can't just change your behaviors. You got to change your thinking, like everything that you're talking about. And we break it down to just nouns, people, places, and things. And you've named every one of those while you were talking just now. People, places, and things. Those are the things that really lead to effective change, even when you're not doing it on purpose. Like you said, you just saw yourself like you just fell into this. That was the universe again. Even if you don't feel that you need to do it, the universe will go ahead and get you where you need to be, at whatever particular time. But what you're saying right now, explaining again that mindfulness, I think that's what people are lacking right now. You really have to be aware. It's good to know your history and stuff, but you also have to be present in the here and now, and be mindful of the here and now. You got to be mindful of everything that's going around you, because if not, you'll easily find yourself getting sucked in. Like you said, you were lost in the wilderness. We all done been lost in the wilderness. You know what I'm saying? And it's because we weren't paying attention. We were complacent. Got a little stagnant. Just got stuck for a minute. And we got to keep ourselves from getting stuck. And if we are stuck, we have to learn how to become unstuck, so that we can go and change those people, places, and things.
Well, I think that people are afraid of their own greatness. If I got to be real, if I got to be 100, I do come from, appreciate stuff like that. But just to keep it 100, people are afraid of their own greatness, because sometimes when you start talking about removing those people, places, and things, well, what happens inside of moving those people, places, and things is that you begin to ward off all of these connections, and those things that you think that you need the most are really anchors that are dragging you down, but you have this psychopathy to where you feel like you need those things. Like for me,
press pause 1 second. See, what you did was just show what we were talking about. See, everything comes back full circle. That's that abandonment. Remember, I said sometimes some things you might need to abandon. Those anchors.
Because listen, I moved from this house 2,000 miles that way, or it would really be that way. But I moved 2,000 miles down to, like I say, Sierra Vista. I was 20 minutes from Mexico, literally. I didn't have my mama there, didn't have a daddy there, didn't have no friends. I didn't have nobody. Only person that I had was me, and if you think about it like that, then you'll be like, oh man, damn, you just out on your own. But then you start realizing, well, listen, when I'm gonna get this car fixed, I gotta go to Meineke. I gotta go to somebody I can trust and rely on, because I ain't got nobody who can come and pick me up. And I can tell them I'm on Lindbergh and Patterson, and they can be there in 10 to 15 minutes. If I'm out,
you should have felt like Moses when you were in Arizona by yourself.
I told you, I was literally out in the wilderness. Mountain lions and grizzly birds walking right past me as I'm walking into my building. For real, you know what I'm saying? But I had to. In reality, I started to realize, like, okay, well, damn, I was BSing before. I was taking things for granted, but I was also taking me for granted, because you don't realize how frustrating, how much energy it takes out of your day, feeling like, okay, well, damn, it's Saturday morning. I got to stop by Mama's house and I'm going to take Mama to the grocery store. You don't realize that one thing that you're doing because you feel like, this is my mama, I got to do this because this is my mama, that will throw your whole day off. And you have essentially wasted a day of productivity feeling that you have to do something when nobody told you you have to do this. It's not written in stone that you have to do this. This is something that you are making yourself do, that's keeping you from meeting your ultimate goal of where you ultimately are supposed to be. You are handicapping, putting that glass ceiling, putting that moratorium on your success by inserting these things into your path that don't need to be there. You know,
Sound like self-sabotage to me.
I see the same thing over and over again. I have dated a lot of women, right? Some I ain't even proud of, to be honest with you. But I have dated a lot of women, and I will see this thing to where you'll see a woman who has a child. She will, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Sit down. Kid finally sit down. Then she'll go and roll them back up. Only to tell them sit down again. And what's so crazy is that once they finally get to the point to where, let's say, the kids go off to the father's house, go off somewhere else for a while, they will then go and insert more drama back into their lives because they can't function outside of chaos.
Oh, you speaking my language, bro.
Certain people cannot function outside of chaos. It's a lot of people who, if it's no chaos present, they can't function.
They are uncomfortable. They don't know what to do.
And at that place, that's why I say that growth scares a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because when now that you have peace inside of peace, it's not a decision, it's growth. So when you see women who date the same dudes, they're afraid of growth. When you see guys who date the same women, same loose women, the same circular logic, same circular pattern of reasoning, you are refusing your growth. You know what I'm saying? But look, that's where I ultimately want to take the people to. But I don't want to be TD Jakes or whatever up here.
You don't have to be TD Jakes to help people, because what you're doing,
get ready,
helping people break the cycle. You don't have to be TD Jakes for that. You know, but you got it in you though.
Yeah, I mean, listen, get ready.
Get ready.
You know, it's a miracle. Oh. I don't want to go there, Dr. Rogers.
No, you got your piano organ or something back there behind you, don't you?
Yeah,
the keyboard.
Yeah, I got a keyboard. Yeah. No, I can go there when I need to, but I don't be trying to. You know, because listen, the biggest thing that scared me about being a preacher is that it's something about a preacher to where they got a different level of sweat. You know what I'm saying? When you have a preacher, don't nobody sweat more than the preacher. A Baptist preacher. Listen, I ain't trying to sweat that much, man. It look like I'm gonna be dehydrated. You know what I'm saying? If I become a Baptist preacher or something like that, man, listen, y'all gonna have to give me an IV bag. I'm gonna need fluids or whatever. Cause listen, I ain't never seen no person who can preach without this right here.
You got to look when you need this.
Listen, I ain't trying to do all of that, man. Listen, I'll be passed out. You know what I'm saying? I like drinking I drink yak on Saturday night.
You'll be through.
Yeah, I start preaching or whatever. I'll be like, get ready to take me to the hospital.
Boy, you be sweating down to the socks.
But listen, in all seriousness, though, they say bring a flashlight. Look, in all seriousness, though, people are handicapping themselves, and the biggest thing is that people will think that I'm being a separatist when I say, okay, everybody not gonna get there with me, because I always like to go back to one of my favorite, actually my favorite speech of all time is Martin Luther King's "I've been to the mountaintop," and he say that
hush your mouth to keep on talking.
No, I get that. I might not get there with you, right? Because when I said, when we originally built the bridge, it was the bridge over troubled water. But you know, Martin Luther King get to a part of that speech where he said that, listen, we came up against Bull Connor, whose lips was dripping with democracy, and they turned the fire hoses on us, but that could not stop us. You know, because if we were Protestant, we had been dipped. If we were Baptist, we had been immersed, but we knew water. And we had to get past that. And so he said, you know, he went on talking. He said, I may not get there with you, but I want you to know that that I have been to the mountaintop and my eyes have seen the glory. He was already telling you where he was getting ready to take you. And when I'm over here, you know, I've been to the mountaintop. I'm already over here on the other side. Y'all just looking at this physical form of me in the flesh right here, but I'm already on that other side. And so, you know, I can tap into it right there because I'm already there. You know what they say, Harriet Tubman would have freed more slaves if they only knew that they were slaves. Okay, freedom, it all starts right here. That thing that you want to get, it all starts up here, in the head. It all starts over here. If you don't see it, you can't achieve it. You know, you can't achieve it. You know, and so what happens is when you see people who are sabotaging, they're not sabotaging me because I'm already there at the I'm already there at the destination. I just have to trace my steps to get back to where I already have been. You know what I'm saying? You are trying to get there. So it don't matter how much you sabotage me. I already got the thinking here that the only person that I'm accountable for is myself. And as long as I got 3 or 4 more people who are accountable with me, we're going to get there regardless. You don't need 100 people. You don't need a team behind you or anything. When I did the boots on the ground, the initial boots on the ground, you were on the original email for the boots on the ground. You know what I'm saying? It was 15 people there. That 15 people went down to about 3 to 4 quickly. You know, and so we had to, but I was already gridlocked in my mind that my eyes they see the glory. My eyes they see they see the process. I see the vision. All of y'all not gonna get there with me. And if I was discouraged, if I was doing this YouTube thing for the views, then I would not
stopped already.
Yeah, because when we went in, we started writing motion, we started doing things, we started breaking things down. It would be if I'm talking about a certain somebody, I can get 400 people in a room. But if I'm being productive, it might be 6 to 12 people in here, and that's the reality of the situation. But I've already been to that mountaintop. I already see that glory, and I already knew coming in. And me and you had this conversation before all of this stuff came into play, that everybody ain't gonna get there with you, and people gonna fall off with you. And I tell you, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it because like I say, I'm a child of the 50s and the 60s. I'm a child of the civil rights struggle, where you had people who would march from Alabama to Atlanta, on up to Memphis, on up to where they had to go. And it would be a brigade of people. I'm a child of that struggle, you know, on to the Black Panthers and on over, who came up out of there, who people were marching through the streets saying, I ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I got to keep on walking, keep on marching, heading to the freedom land. So when I'm there, I'm already there. It's already, the seed has already been implanted in my mind that I gotta keep on marching. Hence the boots on the ground. You know what I'm saying? My boots are already on the ground. That means that progress is already underway because our boots are on the ground. They don't understand it's a military term. You got boots on the ground. That means that you already on the battlefield. When you're on the battlefield, you only got one choice. You gotta hit the intended target, or they're gonna hit you. Okay, right. You gotta go and hit your goals. If your boots are already on the ground, you know you got progress is already underway. Enlightenment and empowerment is already underway. Whereas you have people who pop into these live streams, they might pop in and they might be on their way to go and hear some BS. But if you pop in and you hear one part, it has been implanted into your subconscious mind. Even if you have gotten here for 10 minutes and listened to anything I said for 10 minutes, I already implanted something into your subconscious. That's why when I say I don't listen to other people, I don't listen to BS, I don't need nothing getting implanted into my subconscious mind. Because that could be bringing me down. You know what I mean? And I just don't want the BS getting planted there, because your body, as I was explaining to somebody earlier today, the most of your energy in your body gets consumed without you knowing. You know, you get, so why would I give my subconscious energy to something that is not in completeness and not in oneness with me? You know what I'm saying?
You can't give squatters free room and board.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. They can only come to an abandoned building. You know what I'm saying? Or I used to be a poet. I used to say that most of these people who we talk about are desolate souls that are essentially cupboards holding nothing needed for nourishment. I mean, they are defunct of enrichment. You know, I ain't gonna break that down on the GED level.
You say they're as worthless as a penny with a hole in it. That's what you said.
Yeah. You know, what's the yeah. You know, saying yeah. I'm hopeless as a penny with a hole in it. You know, but and that's just it. So we have to expand our horizons. As Black folks, we gotta expand our horizons. But inside of that expansion, then we have to begin to grow. To know that when we start talking the topics of cash apps, we start talking the topics of these frivolous things. Okay, you know, you can be, again, you fight your brother because your brother is here with you. You hate you not really fighting the war with your brother or your sister. You fighting what you see in yourself that they possess. Okay, so really the war is with you. Correct yourself. Once you correct yourself, the world will change. You can't start waiting for the world to change, then fix you, and you fix your world. You know, once you fix, you're gonna say, okay, I can't live in no community with trash on the street. I can't live in no community with Section 8 housing. I can't live in no community where crackheads walk up and down the street with brown paper bags over 40 ounces, drinking them all day. You know what I'm saying? Your mom, once, and I always go back here, right? I ain't gonna keep on going on, but it was a guy by the name of Steve.
Pastor.
Listen, it was a guy by the name of Steve Coakley, right? And some of my followers, they know who it is. But it was a guy by the name of Steve Coakley. He said, I'm coming here to disseminate the message, and I'm gonna know who got the message because it's gonna be permeated in all of your ways. You know, and so you can tell, I could tell which one of y'all got the message because it's gonna be permeated in all of your ways. And so I see, you know, so you see folks you see folks who come through and they appear to be friendly, but and you have this term where folks say, all right, listen, you know, I got moles, and they think that they are operating unbeknownst to you. No, I see you. I know who you are. My job is I'm trained in warfare. You never let your enemy know that you are on to them. You let them show you. You let them reveal their plan to you. They're going to reveal it to you because corrective action has to be permeated in all of your ways. And that's the biggest thing that I can say is corrective action is not an isolated thing. It's something that will be manifested in all your ways. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be manifested in all your ways. And
let me catch this manifestation thing real quick.
Mm-hmm.
If you are put here for a purpose, because I believe in purposeful living, if you are put here for a purpose and to deliver a certain message, when people like to speak about moles,
Mm-hmm.
you just spoke about even if somebody come on maybe 2-3 minutes, that seed is going to be planted, right?
Yep.
So are they really moles? Because they were supposed to be exactly where they were at that particular time. Even if their mind, they're thinking that they're coming to infiltrate something, they're just following the strategy that was already put in place.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the thing I'm thinking about, because when I hear people say moles, but see, if there's a certain message that was supposed to get put out, you're not a mole. Mm-hmm. You going where you were supposed to be going. Maybe they got you fooled into thinking that you're on some great mission. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But if you were supposed to come and sit on this channel for however long, that's why your butt's sitting on this channel for however long, and you're going to get this work. Yeah. And now you can go on about your business.
Yeah.
There are certain things that are just put in motion. Some of it goes back to that subconscious stuff. I mean, you know, some people getting that work and don't even know they're getting it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And that's what I think is happening right now.
It's y'all from the Carolinas, right? And I gotta go. So I gotta go to somebody from Carolina, J. Cole. He say that the hate in your heart can't stop your soul from vibing with it. So if you over here because you hate me, the hate in your heart, it's not gonna stop your soul from vibing with what I gotta say. I have made more people pop out of the bushes than a little bit, because when I say something, then it's gonna resonate with your soul. I have read over 1,000+ books in my lifetime. I started reading so much to gain knowledge that eventually I became knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And that might go over a lot of people's head, but I started reading so much to gain knowledge that I eventually became knowledge.
I'm stealing that. How about that?
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I got more of them all day. You know what I'm saying? But once you read so much, you can gain. Once I started gaining knowledge, I started realizing, well, listen, if I read a psychology book, I could read 100 psychology books on the same subject the same way, and 100 different psychologists have 100 different ways of breaking down the same exact thing. Okay, so you start realizing something And once I start gaining knowledge, then I start going into, from knowledge, I start going into truth, right? And once I start going into truth, I realized that truth ain't something that you can read. It's something that you can feel. And when you start to feel it, it starts to connect and resonate with your soul. And once it starts to connect and resonate with your soul, it says, this is something that I should have been knowing all along. This is something that it's like a lost part of yourself gets reconnected with you. And that's how you know what the truth is. It becomes in one with you, in completeness with you. And I say that to when you're speaking about the mold, all you have to do is give me 5 minutes of your time. I'm going to convince you whether you like it or not, because this truth is going to resonate with your soul. It's going to resonate with your soul. Okay. You know, again, I'm joking when I'm saying people stealing my commentary, because I put it out there for them to steal. I got the truth on my side. It's going to resonate with your soul. You can't do it. You know, you can rewind minds and there's more to find. You know, I can take a 3-hour live, break it down into, you know, 37-minute segments, and each one will be more potent than the last one. You know, so I don't, you know, it is not something for me to care about if somebody steals something that I said in 2 to 3 minutes, or Sharon Wimbush stealing 9 seconds of something, you know what I'm saying, and dragging it all the way out for 3 weeks and on over, because I got layers upon layers upon layers upon layers of things that I can pull from, you know. And one of the things is, you know, originally me and my aunt Terry, we called you about 5-6 months ago. We called you, and you answered, and you gave me a lot of sound advice, a lot of sound wisdom at that time. And one of the things that my aunt Terry would say to me is, she'll say, well, nephew, they stealing your stuff. They doing this, they doing that. I said, that's fine, Terry. They stole that. That's layer 1. I still got 20 more layers beyond that I'm getting ready to go to. And at the very most, you might be able to follow me to about layer 11. But after that, you're not going to be able to go no more, because just the same thing in government. You have to serve time in grade, which goes back to your thing about being a follower before you become a chief. You got to be did your time in grade before you could get that promotion. That's right. To go up to all of these levels that I'm talking about. So, you know, I ain't gonna drag it out.
Listen, what you're calling truth, that's why I'm smiling. What you're calling truth is what I call work. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm smiling, because when I say y'all gonna get this work, that work, that's truth. Mm-hmm. That is truth. Mm-hmm. And when you're working, you work on levels, right? Mm-hmm. There's always levels to this thing. Mm-hmm. So whether it's 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 10 minutes, 165 minutes, y'all gonna get this work. Mm-hmm. Y'all gonna get this work.
And one of the things that my father will tell me, he says, son, you are climbing Jacob's ladder. I still to this day don't know what the hell Jacob's ladder is, right? Look, each step, it goes higher and higher. You know what I'm saying? Now, wherever Jacob's ladder is, because I've been all up in Home Depot and Menards and every looking for Jacob's ladder. I still ain't found it. You know what I'm saying? I still ain't found.
Jacob is up there with Jack in the beanstalk. You hear me? It just keep on going.
Listen, I still ain't found Jacob's ladder. You know what I'm saying? If y'all know where Jacob's ladder is, email me at opinionated@gmail.com. I'm still trying to figure out how to get to Jacob's ladder. But in all seriousness, though, you gotta keep on extending. You know, I think I heard. I think it was either Dame Dash or Cameron who said that. Listen, I came into the game to make 100,000. When I got into 100,000, I wanted 250,000. When I got 250,000, I wanted 500. When I went to 500, I wanted $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
$1 million made me want 10. 10 made me want 100, and now I want to be $750 million and buy a football team. And so that's what it is. You know, you have to push through that. You got to push through that glass door. You got to break through that. You got to break through your goals ultimately in order to meet your destiny. You know, you got to break through and take your fate, so to say, into your own hands. You know, and that's just it. You got to take your fate into your own hands, and that is it. Take your fate into your own hands. I can't say it no greater than that.
That's it. Because you know what they say about faith without works. I'm just saying, you know, because you done turned into TD Jakes on here for a minute. Go ahead.
Get ready. Listen, hold on. I got it. I got the roll. I
know it.
I got the roll.
I know it. Once you started looking for Jacob in that ladder, I knew it.
I got the roll, man. Nah, this is the Judge Briss Cognac judge's role. But listen, but listen, you do have to keep going up though. And all of the joking aside, you have to keep going. Damn, I started talking about going up on Jacob's ladder. My skin started glowing or whatever for a little minute.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let me finish my light or whatever. Not my skin glowing and stuff. That's crazy. That's crazy. No, but you know, honestly though, I grew up with VHS, VHS tapes or whatever. Kids nowadays, they don't know what it is because we got a whole video going on the internet where kids VHS tapes were cassette tapes that look like this book right here. You plug them into a VCR.
You playing? I still got some.
Hey, you know, I ain't seen a VCR in about 5-6 years. But you know, we grew up with them TD Jakes tapes and stuff like that, and we would have to watch those things, and that kind of became, you know, my zeitgeist and stuff like that. You know, and that's how you get here today. You know. So you know, I'm just trying to come through and trying to put the stuff out here. But you know, I needed this one right here. I ain't gonna even lie to you, because some of this stuff is starting to, you know, get mundane, and we starting to repeat things. So yeah. I don't want to go in and keep on slaying this beast or whatever, because you know the devil, so to say, is over there bruised up right now, saying lay off of me. You know, so yeah, that's it. You know, did you want to drop anything else for the people or anything like that?
I would just say, you know, it's time to change the narrative. It's been time. It's been past time. You know, we can multitask. We can do more than one thing at one time. Just saying.
You know, I might have to split this whole little live stream up and go into name this one. Time to change the narrative. Oh wow. They told me to share the letter. Listen, we got this letter right here. Thanks. Thank you. Wish somebody would. Okay, listen, we got this letter out here for the support. All right. This is the letter that we urge y'all folk to get a copy of. Reach out to us over here at Opinionated, and we are going to do this in order to help out somebody who is somebody who is in a dire situation, and we all kind of know about what the situation is. We will come on tomorrow and expand about that, but this basically goes into all of the things and the injustices of the situation. So reach out to us, and we got these letters and things like that over here. Okay, this is the wrong one. Okay, that's the wrong one. I'm getting corrected, but listen, we over here, we stand working, we stand true to the work. And Dr. Ryder, do you got anything to plug before we go ahead and get this on, get on out of here? Many people may know where to find you at, but for the one,
Find me at okay, Carolina Diamond. Carolina Diamond.
There you go. It was
this was awesome. This was awesome.
Oh yeah, we gotta reconvene the panel at some time. We gotta find the panel. We gotta reconvene the panel. This is the right one. We gotta reconvene the panel or whatever, so that we can have the quote unquote intelligent conversation. We gotta have an intelligent conversation,
Look, I'm gonna fade off so you can go ahead and do what you need to do with your letter.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. That's cool.
I appreciate you for inviting me on here.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, everybody in the chat.
Hey. All right. Thanks for coming on, Dr. Rogers.
Look, preach on, Pastor.
I'm moving on.
All right. Bye.
All right. All right. Listen. We got this letter. Hold on. I'm gonna call. This is Wishbone Baby. Okay. Hey, what's going on? I called you up so that you could go ahead and plug it. Cornell said, I got a Carolina, I got a GED. Hell no. Listen. I called you so that you can go ahead and expand and philosophize on this letter right here. Because this is your baby. This is something that you wrote, and I helped you write this. But I think that you will be able to speak more about it than I would. So I called you up to get you. I called you up, for the purposes of expanding on that.
Well, really, it's nothing to expound on. I mean, we had the live the other night, and majority of the people in the room have mentioned that it would be a good idea to get a letter formatted so that we can send it out to the celebrities and entertainers to see if we can get some support for kellysforjustice.org. So what you see on the screen is the letter. Me and Trent kind of went back and forth a little bit with the wording, but however, we came to this conclusion to list the violations and to consolidate as much as we can to make it short and sweet. So technically, that's pretty much it. I think you can email Trent if you want a copy. There's a few celebrities that we are looking at trying to help. Kim Burrell, I believe, was one that was mentioned. Due to her public cry out for help for Robert in prayer and song. She's a gospel singer. So if anyone wants a copy of the letter, just email Trent and he will get you a copy, do what you can, push, and hopefully we'll get results.
Well, they say that push means pray until something happens.
That's right.
Okay. All right. So, I guess I'll do my piece, since I guess a lot of the verbiage comes from me. Listen, R. Kelly faces Fifth Amendment rights violation because this case is double jeopardy. The United States government can play around with the case of R. Kelly all they want to. They can bullshit, etc., etc. But this is a case of double jeopardy. Just because you want to take and change the names of the charges, but when you coming forward with the same people that already brought a case against somebody, then you are basically holding somebody, you holding somebody against their will for something that they already did. His Sixth Amendment grants him the right to an impartial jury and the right to know your accusers. Okay, the government still has him going up against Jane Doe, and this is an unfair fight. Not only is this a fight that he is up against with one hand tied behind his back, he's also blindfolded in that fight. Okay, the Eighth Amendment is bars cruel and unusual punishment. Okay, and with these cruel and unusual punishments, then you begin to you see that a lot of the things that are going on with Robert, so to say, or these are unique things. These are very unique things. Okay, they didn't want to treat his diabetes for a month. They failed to disclose that he had diabetes. They gave him a treatment plan that he couldn't possibly do. He's having panic attacks, anxiety attacks that come along with being dyslexic, and that there has been no corrective action about these things. The 14th Amendment granted citizenship to former slaves and said that no state shall violate a citizen's privileges or immunity and should not deprive any person of life, liberty without due process of law. He has already been convicted in the court of public opinion without due process of the law. Okay, they have violated the criminal resource manual, the general rule is that indictments cannot be amended in substance. Okay, so now the terms have been altered. Okay, and they have violated his release and detention pending trial. All right, so this is the case of Robert Sylvester Kelly. Again, if you guys want to reach out and use this letter to mail it to anybody, then reach out to me. I'm not gonna put it up on a public platform because I don't have time for this shit to be over on Dana's Live. When we just set up and we didn't did all of this work, I don't play games like that. I just smack the shit out of it. We ain't doing that. But Wishbone, is there anything else that you would like to say? How do you feel about the topic tonight? Is there anything that you want to add?
The topic was great. It was good to hear a different, the untold stories of dark-skinned women and some of the things that they have had challenges with throughout their lives. But I would say that one thing that wasn't mentioned too often is that light-skinned women also face very similar challenges, if not worse, because of the stereotype that light-skinned women have, more privilege or whatever the case may be. We actually get treated way worse because of the fact that there is a stereotype that light-skinned women think they're all bad, think they're cute, think they're pretty, think they have a upper hand, all those things put out there.
Well, we're going to.
That's another topic for another day.
We are going to do the light skinned girls show. The light skinned, I say light skinned. We're gonna do the light girl show. For real, we're gonna do the light girl show. We're gonna have you. We're gonna have Bird. We're gonna have Keisha Boo, and we're gonna try to get a dwarf to come back. And you, Keisha Boo, Bird, and the dwarf Phillips. We're gonna try to bring. We're gonna, I don't know if they want to see it, but we're gonna have the light skin. We're gonna have the Light Girls Matter show. Real. I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna set it up. When y'all doing the in betweens, Sincerely, me Bree wants to do the in between. Let me see.
The in between.
Listen, we could do Wishbone. You the general in command. Okay, what I mean, do you want to go with the light skinned girls matter, or do you want to do Black Girls Rock, where we don't put a color code on there? But the conversation tonight was needed, okay? But we could do the light skinned girls rock, or we could do black. We could do a specific show, particularly two light skinned women, and then we could come back and we could do the black girls rock, because most of the subscribership is women. So I'm gonna start pandering. You know what I mean?
Well, when you go brown skin, I mean, you kind of hit all different shades of brown. Light brown, light skin, brown skin. Brown skin. I mean, maybe that could be try it. I don't know.
I mean, listen, I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna get with you, Bird, Keisha, Boo, and Phillips, and Miss Phillips, and I'm gonna see if we could do the light girls, what are we gonna call it? What do we want to call that show?
I have no idea.
And the light bright damn.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'll have to think about it. But I'm pretty sure you're gonna come up with a good name like you always do.
You don't want me to come up with the name. I'm gonna say the slave master's children. Well, you know what I'm saying. No, in all seriousness though, we could just call it we can call it the We Get It Too show. So where we can start talking about how it's a universal problem and all, but I wanted to have a panel put together of dark skin women specifically tonight to expand on the topic of Oprah's show. But then after we get together that panel, whenever we have done this and got things out the way, then we gonna go and we gonna service the light skin girls. And then we're gonna do the Black Girls Rock show. You know what I'm saying? So everybody who is interested in becoming a member of the Black Girls Rock show, because listen, I market it, and I'll promote the hell out of this show. All right, and we still had trouble getting people to actually sign up for this show. So if you're interested in coming on the Black Girls Rock show, email me at opinionated at protonmail.com, and we gonna do a Black Girls Rock show. We could try to
that sounds good.
We could try to aim for when do you think we should do this?
Well, what's your schedule looking like? I mean,
I'm on
I don't think it's
Corona
gonna be
schedule.
too hard to get any people to participate.
Yeah, I mean, I could do it tomorrow. It's when we get a cast or a group of people together who can do it. So that's just it. If you want to do a Black Girls Rock show, that means every school, every skin complexion, we come on, we talk. But I gotta have people who are good orators. Okay, that's the reason why we had the panel that we had tonight, because we needed people who were good orators. We needed people who could really talk. People who could spit that hot fire flame. We can't just have anybody who they don't know how to speak eloquently. Shit, I'm fucked up. So,
Why don't we schedule it for like Thursday next week, and then that way we can actually put together a good panel.
okay, what do you want to say? You say Thursday or Wednesday?
One of those days.
Oh,
Every day is more convenient for you. I mean, I know you got stuff going on, other things going on.
Like
we all do that.
Let's do Wednesday. Let's do Wednesday. Or what have you? I want to. I think that we had two discussions here tonight. Honestly, I think that we had two discussions here tonight. So I think I want to break this. I want to break this one down and do the first part of this. And then once we do, we're gonna break this into the two segments. Where we had this discussion that took place here at the end. We make this one segment, and then we had the other segment. That's what we're gonna do. So let me go ahead and take folks to the bridge, and we're gonna get up out of here, and then we gonna reconvene after this, and we talk about the way forward. So no further no further ado, people. It's been a long time coming, a lot of dope running. Right. Let's see. Let's say Trent Sharon is right.
Just FYI, there was a lot of you want to bridge already?
I'm going to do this.
If you manage a team, you should be using Monday.com. It's a platform to manage any team and
there's a leak in this old building, and my soul has got to move. My soul has got to move. Ooh, my soul has got to move. There's a leak in this old building, y'all, and my soul has got to move. I got another building, a building I made. This old building keeps on leaning, y'all, and my soul has got to move. My soul has got to move. My soul has got to move. This old building keeps on leaning, and my soul has got to move. I've got another building, a building. Yes, I do. Before this time, another year, I may be dead and gone, but before I go, I want to let you know I'll be living in my brand new home. This old building keeps on sinking, y'all, and my soul has got to move. My soul has got to move. My soul, yeah. This old building keeps on sinking, y'all, and my soul has got to move. I got another building, a building I made. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. When I can read my title clear, to mansions in the sky, I'll bid farewell to all of my friends. God said he would wipe my weeping eyes. Oh, this old building keeps on sinking, and my soul has got to move. My soul, this whole building keeps on sinking, and my soul has got to move. I've got another building, yeah. You know what? I'm moving home. I'm moving home. I'm moving home. When you hear me sing my song, I'm just moving a little closer to home. When you see me praise the Lord, y'all, I'm just moving closer to my heavenly home. Yeah, I'm moving, yeah, moving, moving home.
I'm moving home, y'all. I'm tired of this mortgage. I'm moving back to my mama's house, y'all. Hey, may God bless the readers, hearers, and doers of his word. Y'all be easy, man. We ain't made it across the